Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 56 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance and installation, and heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ring.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Well, it's been a wild Thursday here this morning. News is popping. There is a big announcement out of the White House, and they were in the middle of the press conference in the White House. President Trump is sitting at the Resolute desk. All the medical staff, the Health and Human Services, you've got Bobby Kennedy, you've got Dr. Oz, you've got Dr. McCary, you've got people from different types of, I don't know, what are they, pharmaceutical companies, Eli Lilly, and so on and so forth. They're making a huge announcement that they are slashing the prices of those GLP-1s. How many of you been on Ozempic? How many of you have been on, what is it, Wegovy? There are other ones that I can't remember. I know that they are semaglutide, tirzepatide, those types of things. You're trying to lose weight. You've been trying to lose weight for a long time. And if you, like me, suspect that our food has been making it incredibly difficult to drop those pounds, you may have tried using this shot, and it's expensive. How many of you have looked into using this shot and said, I can't afford that. I can't make that work? Well, I want to introduce you to, his name is Chris Klump, and I am not making that up. That is the real name of the Senior Advisor to Health and Human Services. And this is part of the press conference that was taking place just within the last 30 minutes or so. And the press conference got interrupted because one of the individuals from one of the pharmaceutical companies passed out between the podium and the Oval Office, the White House desk there, the Resolute desk where President Trump was sitting. A man passed out. They have released a statement. The White House has released a statement saying that he is fine. He just merely fainted. You ever been in a wedding where somebody at the front passes out? I'll tell a little story about that because it kind of happened at my wedding. So he passed out, looked a little nerve-wracking there for a second, like you don't really know what's going to happen. President Trump pivots in his desk to his immediate left and goes along with the other gentleman to try to help him, and he fainted down to the ground kind of in a slow buckling way, and they got him safely to the ground. And then they made a statement just at the end of the 11 o'clock hour that the White House is going to resume the press conference. So we're going to monitor that as well. Hans von Spakovsky is on with us this hour. In the 1 o'clock hour, we're going to Capitol Hill. We've got Congressman Darin LaHood. We've got Senator Eric Schmitt. And we've got lots to talk about today. But I do want to get to this huge breaking news regarding the most favored nations. This is something you hear the president talking quite a lot about. I was mentioning the name Chris Klump. He is the senior advisor to Health and Human Services, HHS, and he gave us some details as to what this is going to look like now that these prices have been slashed.
And it's rooted in the principle of potential. This is about unlocking the full potential of every American, the grandmother, the grandfather, the father, the son, by unlocking access to affordable life-saving medications that make a meaningful difference in their lives when they need them most. That's what today delivers. It's a deal built on principle for people, for the American people, and backed by policy that works. So the most important step to getting healthy is believing that your life has value, that God meant for each of us to have purpose and joy and to live fully. And to do that, we must be good stewards of our body. And the president has been fighting to provide another tool to do just this and enable this. And it's my pleasure to get to outline the contours of the deal today. So first and foremost, customary with the three prior announcements, all of the customary most favored nation terms that you've grown familiar with apply to these two deals. So this is actually deals 4 and 5. Full Medicaid portfolios today at most favored nation prices. Shared savings from existing drug prices in Europe deployed back to the United States. All primary care drugs at U.S. net prices or most favored nation prices available on Trump RX before the end of the year. And most importantly, all future drug launches across commercial, Medicaid, Medicare, and the cash markets at most favored nation prices going forward. Now, GLP-1s. So first, under this agreement, starting doses of oral GLP-1s will cost just $149 a month for everyone. That's roughly 1/8 the cost of the list price today. For Medicare, manufacturers are voluntarily reducing their prices for GLP-1s currently used for diabetes and other covered indications to $245 per month across all doses. The savings generated from this change in prices will be used to provide new coverage to obesity and those who struggle with obesity and also have high metabolic or cardiovascular risk. Again, all for the same $245 a month. That means Americans struggling with diabetes and obesity, with heart disease, or other chronic conditions can access these life-changing drugs more affordably. Medicare patients, importantly, will only pay $50 a month for a copay. This is a massive reduction from what happens today. For Medicaid, Novo and Lilly have agreed to extend the same new low government pricing to all 50 state Medicaid programs should they opt in. And we encourage them to opt in. And these will be available not just for diabetes and current covered indications, but also for obesity again. And in case you're getting tired of me saying it, at the same price of $245 a month, all covered doses. On Trump RX, the average price of injectables and orals will start at $350 on average. That's compared to roughly $500 today. And that will trend down to, you guessed it, the same $245 a month over the next 24 months. That is 1/5 of the list price. It is 1/2 of the best price in the United States today. We're hoping, Mr. President, that your friend who has to travel to England to afford these drugs will no longer need to do so and can come and do it in the United States. I'll also just mention that the $149 is $1 less than what you asked us to achieve. Just gonna make sure that's clear. So I want to highlight two other really important points that make me love this deal so very much. First, this isn't about spending more, it's about spending smarter. The savings from the diabetes drug price reductions are being used in a cost-neutral way to fund the new indications for taxpayers. That's amazing, and that happens inside of that same 24-month period. It's cost neutral. We're spending the money more wisely. But second, this isn't just about lower drug prices for Americans, though it does do that. But together with physical activity, with healthy eating and diet, and where appropriate, the use of breakthrough GLP-1s, the real return on investment is healthier Americans, lower chronic disease,
you looked into it, but for whatever particular reason here or maybe in the past, wherever you did go to look for your access to Ozempic or the generic version, Wegovy and the generic version, whatever, it's too expensive. Does it bother you that these medications are super, super more affordable in Europe and that they utilize the American people to subsidize the ability to make it more affordable for everyone else? I mean, that's the case that's being made here for what has been done in the past. And now here we are. The president is doing something about it. When you're talking about affordability and you're talking about using the government to price control things. So we can go to New York City right now and see Mayor-elect Mamdani is going to implement government-run grocery stores. Ryan, do you know a lot about the way these grocery stores are supposed to be implemented? I mean, I know that we had one in Kansas City and it was a miserable failure.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that because I started looking into it. I can't quite figure out what the partnership is between public and private.
Well, he was on a panel with maybe CNN or something like that. He was on a panel with CNN, and somebody said, this is when he was still Kennedy. He was like, you are going to do this, you're going to do that, free groceries, free this. And he corrected him. He goes, not free groceries, cheaper groceries. But how is it cheaper? Well, it's only, the mayor can only step in and do one of two things to make it more affordable to go to the grocery store. One of them is he can tax it less, so that if you're purchasing things at the grocery store that do, I think Missouri does, maybe it's something we could look up real quick, Missouri versus Illinois, but like there are a lot of things that don't get taxed. You go to the grocery store and a lot of goods don't have a tax on them. But if you're in like a TIF district, isn't that where there's a district, like they carve out a small area and they tax, if you shop in, it could be 2 blocks of stores. And there's a little extra tax if you shop there, because they're using that to help fund the ability to bring more businesses in or to make that area thrive right away. Did you get it?
Yeah, it's about the same in Missouri and Illinois. Illinois is about 1%, and Missouri is a little over
Groceries?
1% for grocery taxes.
I thought if you went and bought like produce and stuff like that in Illinois, that it was not allowed to be taxed.
Well, this is an overview, so that's very possible. This is just sort of a generic, like, if you go to the grocery store, here's the general.
No, I'm talking about like things you need to do to feed yourself. And we could really go back and forth as to what should be qualified as necessities. I mean, really, you should be able to look at what SNAP allows you to purchase with the taxpayer dollar, and those things should not be taxable if they're funded by the taxpayer dollar, and then you'd have to use that taxpayer dollar to buy a bunch of bananas, and then you'd have to pay taxes back into the system with the money that was given to you by the taxpayer dollars. That sounds about right. Actually, that's probably exactly what they do. I don't know. The healthcare conversation is the big conversation of the moment right now, because the government is being shut down because Democrats are saying, we don't want those subsidies to sunset. We want the subsidies that the Democrats passed on the Democrat Affordable Care Act that is completely the Unaffordable Care Act. The Democrats have subsidized the subsidized program that is still too freaking expensive. Remember when the Affordable Care Act was presented to us and they said, we're going to cover all your wellness stuff. We're going to make sure that people feel good to go to the doctor, because if they manage their wellness, we think that healthcare costs on the whole will be lower. And those subsidized individuals who have to have healthcare that is provided to them by the taxpayer, essentially, which is the subsidy, those costs will go down if more people participate in wellness care. I don't know why we aren't having the exact same conversation when we're talking about what SNAP will cover. The healthier that you are, the less health care, essentially on the whole, across the board, that those individuals would need. We should be, on the taxpayer's dime, feeding these people in a healthy way. Only in a healthy way. It's not like you tell somebody who is getting SNAP benefits that they are not allowed to eat a candy bar because they're on SNAP. You're not policing what they consume. You're only policing what you're requiring other people to pay for. And if we're also paying for the benefits of health care and everything else that goes along with it, then the chances are that if you, going back to how the Democrats sold, we're covering all the wellness, all the vaccine schedules. Of all of the people who need to go get this wellness care, then we should also be covering healthy foods when it comes to subsidized welfare or, food stamps, that type of thing. But also, why wouldn't you look at what we see the president doing right now and understand something different? He is not taking your taxpayer dollars to make these drugs more affordable. He's going to the company and say, stop screwing the American people. We're going to make you, if you want to do business in this country, you're going to have to treat the American people with the respect that they deserve. You can't charge us 8 times in the United States for the drugs that you're handing out like candy in Europe. It's not going to work anymore. We got to figure something out here where the American people can benefit from the market size that they are, and you're going to show them a little respect. And for whatever particular reason, these companies go, okay. This is a private sector free market adjustment that President Trump, through negotiations, is making with these companies. That's a whole heck of a lot different than saying, I'm going to tax the people of New York City so that I can put money into a grocery store so I can keep prices down. If your taxes go through the roof so that you can get cheaper groceries, you're the punchline in the joke. If you think that you're like, oh, this socialized grocery store thing is great, and you're paying for it on the back end, you have to understand that it's not more affordable for you if your taxes have to go up to make other things more affordable. All that does is make the government look like the sugar daddy that the leftist people who want to control the power, who want to consume the power, they want to shake their fist at the man so they can become the man. It's a power grab. Oh, and a money grab. Taking both power and money from you. But not the Trump administration. They're going straight to the private market, and they're making deals, and they are good ones. We'll watch and see if that press conference gets started up. When we come back, Hans von Spakovsky is going to talk to us. Yesterday, Ryan, you said that this tariff thing is going to be real bad for President Trump. You said that you were listening to the arguments, and you think it's going south fast. Yeah,
the oral arguments suggest that even the constitutional judges, I won't say right-leaning, seem to be skeptical of Trump's use of tariffs.
Well, Treasury Secretary Bessent highly disagrees with you. So we're going to listen to him, and we're going to see what Hans von Spakovsky, who is definitely smarter than me, has to say about the arguments that have been made so far and if these tariffs are going to stay in place. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
When you go shopping, you may not get the bargain you want, but at least you know and can compare prices. It should be that way with healthcare, but too often it's not. Need an operation on your knee? Want to know what it's going to cost? Good luck. For 3 years, hospitals have been required to provide patients with list prices and have negotiated charges for some 300 services. Just over a third are fully compliant. In Missouri, prices differ greatly depending on a patient's insurance. The cost of a pelvic CT scan, for example, can be 20 times more expensive in one hospital than another. Price transparency allows patients to compare providers, forces hospitals to compete on price, and helps insurers negotiate lower rates. State law should require all healthcare providers to publish prices in a user-friendly form. What we don't know is costing us. The price of healthcare shouldn't be a secret. Check out our 2025 blueprint, Moving Missouri Forward at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
It's time for you to get to know my friends at Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield, where luxury meets comfort. Mark Cox here. They have a great selection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, craft cocktails, anything you like to drink, cold beer, premium hand-rolled cigars from the finest makers in the world, even private lockers that are available if you choose to. Perfect for date nights or business meetings, and live music every Friday night. Family owned and operated. Check them out in Chesterfield at the District. It's litstl.com.
Hey, St. Louis, how would you like to see if you, your family, or employees qualify for a health insurance plan that has open enrollment year-round? Bill Pauly and his team at the Pauly Agency put the sure in insurance. Call to set an appointment at 636-222-2149. That's 636-222-2149.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
With conviction and clarity, The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Larry, I came away very optimistic. The Solicitor General presented a strong case for the president's use of the IEEPA, the emergency tariff powers that President Trump has used to balance trade, to negotiate with the Chinese on fentanyl, to secure rare earth magnets, to get the Indians to stop buying Russian oil. And, the Solicitor General made a fantastic case that the purpose of the tariffs is to rebalance global trade. We were in an economic emergency. We were near a tipping point. And, you and I know exactly what that looks like. And President Trump has brought the U.S. back. On the other side, I thought that the plaintiffs almost embarrassed themselves. They clearly didn't understand foundational economics. They didn't understand the trade policy they were talking about. And I'm very optimistic after listening to the questions at SCOTUS that the IEEPA ruling is going to come President Trump and this administration's way.
We the people of the United States
more perfect.
in order to form a more perfect union.
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovsky.
Oh, we're so glad we have legal experts here on the Andy Fry Show like Hans, because I would just be a terrible, terrible interpreter of what's going on in the Supreme Court right now. Hans, welcome back. It's always good to have you with us.
Well, thanks for having me. That was an interesting clip you played. I agree that John Sauer, he's the Solicitor General of the U.S., and he was making the arguments yesterday. He did a superb job, but I am not as optimistic that the administration is going to win the case, because the justices, particularly the more conservative justices, they gave the government a pretty tough time. Now, they did also ask tough questions to the other side, but there were quite a few doubts raised by questions asked by the Chief Justice and other justices.
Yeah, well, you made Ryan Wiggins pretty happy because he wasn't feeling very good about it either. Can you take us back a little bit here? So we got Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Maybe he's trying to get ahead of a ruling that he doesn't like. Maybe he's trying to justify what he's doing out there while he's on Fox Business with Larry Kudlow. But can you explain it in a way even I can understand? What actually is this case over? What is being debated and what's at stake?
Look, Donald Trump, through a series of executive orders, has basically issued two kinds of tariffs. He imposed tariffs on products coming in from China, Canada, and Mexico because he says they haven't done enough to stop the flow of fentanyl into the U.S., which, very deadly drug, big killer of young people. But he's imposed a second set of tariffs that are related to trade. And they are related to the fact that he says many countries have trade barriers for American products. Their products get into the U.S., our products don't get into their countries. And even when they do, with high prices because of the tariffs, those countries add. So those are trade tariffs also. He's claimed the authority to do this under this 1977 law everybody keeps referring to. It's got this big, long name, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. And the Supreme Court has never, ever had a case before it on interpreting it. And what that law basically says is that if the president believes that there is an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security, foreign policy, or economy of the U.S., he can declare a national emergency. And he then can, and this is key language they kept arguing about, regulate the importation or exportation of property from a foreign country. So one is the trade deficit, which the president has cited as an emergency. Is that an economic emergency? And is the fentanyl threat an unusual and extraordinary threat? I mean, that's one issue. But the other big issue they kept arguing about was that, remember, the solution the president can put in place is regulation and regulation. He can regulate the importation or exportation of property. It doesn't say tariffs. Now, John Sauer, the SG, argue to the court yesterday that, well, look, tariffs are a historical and long-known way of how you regulate imports. So even though the law doesn't specifically say tariffs, clearly that's what the Congress was contemplating when they passed it. One of the big questions the Chief Justice asked was, well, what about the major questions doctrine? And what that means is that when Congress gives, a lot of power to the president, which they've done in this statute, the court in the past has said that they have to be very clear in the exact powers they're giving him, and tariffs are nowhere mentioned in the law. So that was just one of the issues. And like I said, they were giving both sides a pretty tough time. I do think the lawyer arguing for the government did a much better job than the lawyer arguing for the challengers in the case.
Sometimes we hear about these Supreme Court cases, and I'm off the top of my head thinking of the birthright citizenship one, and it's in front of the Supreme Court, and everybody's like, oh, this is huge. But actually, it's not about birthright citizenship specifically. It's really more about a different application of it. So there could be a narrow ruling, there could be a broad ruling that comes from the Supreme Court. Is it possible that when the ruling is made, that they could come up with something that really doesn't satisfy anybody or everybody?
No, that's absolutely right. And what people need to understand in relation to what you just said is that, look, there's a lot of, there's a lot of debate in this country whether tariffs are a good thing or a bad thing economically. That's not what is at issue in this case. The issue is entirely how much power does this federal law give to the president, and are tariffs one of the remedies he can apply? And look, there was no question from the arguments that we know the three liberal justices are going to vote against the administration. In fact, it was almost pathetic at some points when the lawyer for the challengers was getting confused and not doing a good job. Sonia Sotomayor and Justice Brown Jackson stepped in to help him as if they were the lawyers for the challengers in the case. I don't know how this is going to come out. Like I said, there were pretty tough questions from the conservative justices. So, yeah, they might be able to come up with some compromise that gives the president, that recognizes his power to declare an emergency, but might limit how and when he can impose tariffs. But anybody who's telling you they know how this case is going to come out, they're wrong.
Last question before we let you go. Hans von Spakovsky speaking with us right now, senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. One of the questions that I heard back and forth was okay, how many hundreds of billions of dollars have come in due to tariffs? What do we do with that money if we find out, nope, Trump, you can't do that?
Well, see, that'll be a crucial part of the court's decision. If the court says, well, you never should have been able to collect these in the first place, the government is going to be faced with this huge, huge problem of how to return the money. The easy way out of that for the court would be to say, we'll allow the government to keep the money it's collected up through the date of this decision. But after this, the tariffs are no longer enforced. That would be the easy way to dispose of it.
I lied. I have one more question. So if the president doesn't have the authority to do this, my presumption is Congress does.
Yes, that is absolutely right.
So would it be possible then, in part, for the House to come back and say, we're going to pass what Trump said. The Senate goes and does it. Maybe they blow the filibuster out for that while they're potentially doing it for the government shutdown, and then they pass it, they make it law, and then it is.
Yeah, no. If they made it law, then the president can do it, and he wouldn't have to worry about the Supreme Court coming in and saying, nope, you can't do that.
I would suppose that the president would want that to happen regardless of what the Supreme Court rules in this point, potentially.
Well, yeah, because he believes quite sincerely that we are facing an economic disaster if we don't fix the trade deficit.
All right. Well, Hans, you always bring common sense to things that are uncommon to our senses. We always appreciate you. Thanks for the clarity today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. We'll talk to you again soon. Hans von Spakovsky, Senior Legal Fellow, Heritage Foundation. I really probably assumed that it's just because it was Scott Bessent and not Lutnick, Ryan, that you would go against what Bessent is wanting there, since you're such a Lutnicky.
Thank you for bringing up Howard Lutnick.
You're welcome.
Because I am a huge Lutnicky,
It's
as
his
you
hair.
said.
He talks about Lutnick's hair all the time.
That's false.
Envious.
That part's false.
It's hair envy.
That's true. The other stuff's false. No, the Lutnick thing, big, bold idea. I'm just going to throw it out there. What if President Trump pitched to the American people going into the midterms? If Congress gives me the power to tariff, I will, speaking of Lutnick, get rid of income taxes for everybody under $150,000.
I think they'd have to make a strong economic case that is something that we are ready to do. But we'll see. I don't know. I mean, if Congress can get... You want to talk about needing to win the midterms, folks. You want the full experience of Donald Trump and what he wants to do to our country, with our country, for our country. We're going to need a good midterm. We're going to need it to not be so razor thin. Real quick break here. The press conference at the White House has resumed. From my view right now, everybody is standing on their feet except for President Trump, who is sitting, of course, at the Resolute desk in the Oval Office. So we'll dip in and see how they rebooted that press conference that ended abruptly a little bit earlier because one of the individuals from the pharmaceutical companies, I almost said pharmaceutical. How do you feel about that?
You did say it.
One of the individuals in the background, he passed out. He just kind of did that collapse thing, and he's apparently fine. So we'll visit in and see how they rebooted that when we come back. Don't go away.
I can't sleep at night. Yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing now. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night.
Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com, 314-227-9636. Reach out to Matt Hayes and ask him about how he can help you restore the security, the safety, the solidity. That sounds like a good word. If I said it with confidence, you wouldn't even thought twice about it. But I'm thinking twice about it. Of your foundation. Is your basement allowing water to find its way in? Maybe on the floor. Maybe there's moisture on the walls. The cracks on the walls that used to be just little hairline cracks, and now all of a sudden it looks like that's grown a little bit. What's really going on there? How serious is it? Maybe a problem that you could fix right now is going to cost a whole heck of a lot more. And I've seen the pictures, folks, from Matt Hayes. Fix the foundational problems now before it gets out of hand. I saw somebody's porch collapse into their house because it started to sink a little bit, and all of a sudden the worst of the worst happened. That became a lot more expensive. 314-227-9636. 314-227-9636. Tell them Annie sent you. Home Shield Foundation Repairs.com.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line.
But my throat has officially thrown in the towel. Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Looks like we are definitely out of the massive heat waves that we received this year. But any week when it's 90 degrees during the day and 90 degrees at night is, in St. Louis, the humidity is not comfortable and our bills do go up. With that being said, we're coming up in the winter months and this is the time that you want to get your furnace looked at and checked. It's inexpensive to have it looked at for your peace of mind. And this is also the time of the year where you'll hear during your furnace checkups that you have a bad heat exchanger or you need a new furnace. Call me if you hear that for a second opinion. You'll be happy you did. And it's one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. or on the internet, Bart Inman. Now that is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. And God bless.
If you are a regular in voting or watching the live stream, our YouTube live chat poll today is one that you will recognize. Do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? Yes for the shutdown only, yes for everything, or no? We're re-asking this question, see if there's been any movement, because there is a lot of movement on Capitol Hill concerning this topic. We'd like to know where you stand on it. It is 12:39. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
25 years strong. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
We were staying in Paris to get away from your parents, and I thought, wow, if I could take this in a shot right now, I don't think that we could work this out.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Did you guys see that guy pass out in the background of the press conference earlier?
Yeah, they had to cut to a wide to show it because they weren't on him when it happened, but yes.
Well, they had the camera on the podium, and all of a sudden the guy who was talking at the podium kind of stops and turns over and he goes, "Are you okay?" And then they shifted over to him, and then President Trump leans over backwards from sitting down at the desk there in the Oval Office, and everybody kind of descended on him. He was starting to pass out. He kind of had that blank stare on him, and he just kind of accordion fell to the floor. And in my wedding, they always, if you've ever been in a wedding and you're standing up there the whole time, I don't know that everybody really does that anymore, where the wedding party has to stand up. I think a lot of that has lessened over the course of the time. Since I was married in 2007, but they always say don't lock your legs. You're standing up there. It's dare I say boring to be at a wedding and standing up at the front of the church, and you're standing there and you're in a tux or some sort of uncomfortable dress, standing in heels. They say don't lock your knees. I'm not going to mention who it is because I don't have permission from him, but one of the groomsmen from our wedding party must have locked his knees, and he kind of started to waver a little bit, and then one of the other groomsmen went to get him, and he kind of like bounced off of one of the walls and went off to the side sacristy or whatever at the church. He was totally fine, but you just get woozy. And I always think about all of these people who are standing behind the president. These press conferences go on forever and ever. It's a really long time to stand back there. And he passed out, but they've said he's fine. So they just resumed this. I just want to dip in and see what this looks like.
Arc of chronic disease in our country. Lilly's a 150-year-old American company, and we're committed to advancing science, investing in research, and building really high-value jobs. But today I want to start by thanking the many Lilly scientists who pioneered breakthroughs like the ones we're talking about today, breakthroughs like tirzepatide or Zepbound, and also our manufacturing people who work around the clock to make supply possible for this kind of landmark announcement. But medicine only is effective when people can access and afford it, and that's what today's announcement delivers. Thanks to the President's focus and the collaboration we had with so many people at HHS, we're able to solve a real problem for millions of American people. 9 years ago, when I started this job, I promised to read every letter a patient sent me. And back then, there was hope for new treatments, but a lot of complaints about insulin pricing. So while we did a number of things ourselves, it wasn't actually until I spoke to the President, this is in your first term, and you ordered the HHS team to work with us to really solve that problem. We prioritized it. We launched a copy of our own medicine at 90% off, and then we capped the price of insulin for Medicare patients at $35.
And Biden tried to take credit for it.
Yeah, it was in your first
I'm
term.
going to pause this right now because I was just about to pause it and say, and Biden tried to take credit for it.
Yeah, if you couldn't hear it.
Trump couldn't keep himself. Trump can't. He's sitting there while this guy is saying this, and he can't keep his mouth shut because one of the things that President Biden spoke about at his first joint address to Congress, which is the State of the Union, but like right when you get there, was basically Donald Trump's lowering of these types of drug prices, insulin prices. They championed the heck out of it, and it was 100% Donald Trump. And I do not blame him a bid for being like, and another thing.
I blame him for not having a microphone.
He should have a microphone all
He
the
should
time.
always have a mic on.
He should have one of those big ones with the fuzzy thing on top.
Big old camo X one from the back in the day.
No, I wouldn't say that, but maybe a 97.1 one. But just one with a big fuzzy top, and the fuzz should be orange. Let's listen in a little bit more here.
He did it, and then it came through during the early part of his term, and he tried to take credit. So we did the best we could to let him know that didn't happen. He got a little lucky, but I always said, frankly, I said, this is not good, because statutorily it had to wait a little while, and it came out at $35 instead of some crazy amount, right, David? And they stood up and they said what a great job they did. No, that was done by Trump and Lilly.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we solved a major problem together. It's now law. Today when I get mail, it's quite frequently from patients who are just having amazing success on our weight loss medications, but they too are finding it out of reach, particularly America's seniors in Medicare. So this spring in this very office, I met with the President and Secretary Kennedy, Administrator Oz, and others to figure out how to tackle this problem. And of course, unlocking obesity treatment is critical to chronic disease management. So is diet and exercise. But we wanted to open up that access for millions of Medicare beneficiaries and Medicaid as well. And again, the President saw this opportunity, and we left the room and he asked us to solve it. So 7 months later, we're here. Medicare coverage with a $50 cost to patients per month. That's down from Medicare patients today, if they want access to our medicine, pay $500 a month out of pocket.
That's so crazy. And this is Eli Lilly sitting here saying that this is the effort that they've put in, because he's talking about Eli Lilly is here. That's a private company. Well, they might be publicly owned. Are they publicly owned? I don't even know. It's not a government company is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Well, yeah, same.
Yeah.
But this is not the government coming in and saying, you're paying $500 a month for this certain pharmaceutical. It should be $50 a month. The taxpayer is going to cover that $450 for you. Who gets paid in the end there? The pharmaceutical companies. The pharmaceutical companies are coming in and saying, we're going to do something here. We're going to make something happen here, and we're going to make an adjustment. The president asked us to solve this problem, and it's happening. That's incredible. It's really, really incredible to see what the president is able to do, to negotiate. This is the exact 180 opposite of what New York City is about to do right now. This is exactly the opposite of what government subsidized everything, which is only the government doesn't have money. They take everything that they give. They take it first, and then they give it, and then they tell you, say thank you. It's outrageous. And New York City is about to SAFO, as they say.
Can you spell that out?
SAFO.
Ah, I should have been clearer.
Screw around and find out, New York City. I think you're about to. You're in the FO part of the old SAFO phase.
This stuff right here that he's talking about with these pharmaceutical companies, this moves the needle. This is big stuff politically. I am speaking politically, but it's big stuff for people. Everybody will notice this.
The huge difference, good point, that the reason why this is political is because it's actually going to affect people's lives, and they are going to have a reaction to that instead of, don't you know who the great Satan is? Don't you know who the villain is here? Let me tell you all the ways that this person is the villain that I need you to think that he is so that you're angry and mad, and then I'll sell you the solution that you'll pay for in the back door. That's the left. This is the right. Thank God I'm on the right side of this one. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Get away from your back.
Let's show our appreciation for local heroes. Mark Cox here. Nominate a first responder and their department could get lunch from Grill Master Tony's. I'll personally deliver it. Share their story at 971talk.com. Nominate them today.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants, so
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 39 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
With this season's drought and high temperatures, demand for new sprinkler system installs is at its peak. Even with a little rain in the forecast, now is the absolute best time to put a new system in place, setting you up for a healthier, greener lawn next year. Don't let your lawn go through another season looking the way it does today. Take control now, and you'll never have to worry about the damage heat and dry weather can cause again. Call 636-695-7800 or visit ProOutdoor.com to schedule your new system installation today.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Wiggins!
Oh! Wiggins!
All right, a bunch of rando stories here that I've collected from throughout the week that will make
In
you
this
go.
segment?
I know. Most of the time I'm very, very focused.
Something new.
But today it's a bunch of stories that make you go, what?
What?
You sounded exactly like the drop.
I'm good at my job, which is not bad.
Here's what I have to say to that.
What? Well.
Well, I was.
Oh, we could do a whole after show, you guys. You have no idea.
Stick around.
If you ever want to watch the YouTube live during the commercial breaks.
Us just being Ron. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, I won't explain.
Actually, you're going to be listening later and you're going to go, oh.
Oh, that's what that was. It was Leaf Filter Radio. So these are the airports that are affected by the shutdown. Because what's going on here is that the Federal Aviation Administration, you probably saw this, announced Wednesday it would reduce air traffic by 10% across high-volume markets.
I'm freaking out.
To maintain travel safety as air traffic controllers go unpaid and exhibit signs of strain during the shutdown. Let me ask you this. Is there any other area of the government shutdown that is worrying you? I mean, aside from the compassion part of it.
I worry about other people.
Yeah, but that's affecting you.
So I'm going to say the fact that there are people who need assistance to eat, that affects me as a citizen and as a neighbor.
Fair.
The fact that there are people who are working their tails off, like air traffic controllers who are working 6 days a week or whatever, forced overtime and not getting paid, the military not getting paid. This all precedes anything that has to do with how I feel in this moment. I want the government shutdown to end yesterday, 30 whatever days ago. Caveat, is that clear? Does that allow me to now talk about myself?
And now?
No. It doesn't affect me.
But this does.
I'm traveling with my family in later in November, and the airport that I'm traveling to is on the list of planes or flights that are going to be 10% canceled or whatever.
I'm not going to go through every airport that's affected by this. There's 40 of them. I will tell you that St. Louis is not on this list.
Correct.
But that a lot of the airports you might be going to would be on this list. So it may affect your flights anyway.
All airports are in play because it's the holiday season.
Right. So if you're going to, I'll read the first one to you. Anchorage in Alaska. Can you believe that's a high
told you
volume?
not to talk to people about where I was going. I said I wanted to keep that private.
I didn't say that you were.
Oh, shoot.
Are you going to? You're going to Juneau. She's going to Juneau, Alaska, not Anchorage.
You know, I told you not to talk about it. It's on a Laffy Taffy. That's the kind of stupid jokes. My husband and my oldest daughter, they love dumb jokes, and they tell them to me. And the more I'm not amused, the more they are. Anyway, go on.
Try this one. She's not going to Juneau. She's going to Djibouti. In Africa? It sounds like your booty. Anyway, the next story.
It's kind of like that, guys. That's kind of what it feels like at home. What? Yeah.
Just working some material here. It's a Thursday.
I'd keep working.
A slew of fake money.
I tell you not to quit your day job.
Is being yeah, thank you. A slew of fake money is being snatched from movie sets and circulating now in mostly Florida for whatever reason. It says double check your cash, especially if you're in Florida, because movie set money is going around, according to authorities. These bills are marked as fake, and they say, production movie on it or whatever. But they look really real at first glance. So that's the trouble when you make fake money, and it's why the government doesn't want you to do it.
Well, it's for movie sets, though.
It is for a movie set.
That's the reason to have money that looks super real that's not.
That's really the only reason. I can't think of another other than that you want to use it as a prop for some reason.
I wonder if there's any sort of Hollywood regulation on something like that. Like, does it have like a Warner Brothers stamp on it so they know they can track where the money got released from or something like that? Are there fines that would be involved if that money gets out and gets used? Because, how many times, first of all, not many people use cash anymore, although we should, but I don't. I do to get into sports games, and that's the only reason I ever have cash. But if you're using cash and someone hands you a 20, you're looking and it says 20, and that's it. There are some cashiers that are maybe inspecting higher bills, but if you're getting a $5 bill, you're not holding it up to the light.
No, but if it's 100, once in a while, you'll have the cashier that marks it with something, or they'll look it up.
Sure, but are they marking the $5 bills? You just get 25s.
No, probably not. Yeah,
and you're good. That's the problem.
Exactly. Well, last one here, real quick. The original founders of Hooters are bringing back the restaurant chain's vintage, more modest uniforms after regaining control of the brand following a tumultuous period of bankruptcy.
Vintage, more modest?
And controversy. Apparently, the old uniforms, back from when we were in high school and college, were more modest than the current ones. Which the ones I'm thinking of. Well, the one I'm thinking of, it wasn't modest at all. So if they must have gotten less modest since then.
Nude tights, tall white socks, which are super in right now, booty orange shorts, and a white tank top.
All the new owners have said is, I don't think you're going to see a bunch of butt cheeks hanging out. Unquote.
This is your business model?
That's
this is the new business model for Hooters? What else wasn't going to hang out? He didn't mention that, did he? We'll be right back.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
AirComfortService.com. You are thinking about having to replace that furnace and you are not excited about it. Well, I get that. I understand that. It's going to be expensive. Of course, it's not going to, it's going to cost you a little bit of money, but you want to make sure that the investment is one worthy of making, something you're not going to have problems with in the future. You're going to want to have something that is definitely more efficient than the one that you had in your house. It's probably a couple decades old or whatever. If you reach out to Air Comfort Service right now, 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, I've got some good news for you because there's a more affordable way to go about this right now. Up to $2,100 in Carrier Cool Cash on qualifying HVAC equipment. Plus, you could qualify for 0% financing for up to 72 months and tax credits. They have decades and decades, over 55 years of experience of serving people just like you in houses and businesses just like yours. Call them and ask them about how you can save some money on the new system you need to put in your home. 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Patton, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage to the feet and legs.
What are the symptoms?
The symptoms are numbness, burning, tingling, pain, and loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we have amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands or balance issues, call us at Comprehensive Integrated Health today for a nerve damage screening. The screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, and even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Call 636-538-5188. That's 636-538-5188 for your free nerve damage screening. 636-538-5188.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Popular obesity drugs will cost less. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. The Trump administration reaching a deal with Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly to slash the price of Zepbound and Wegovy and expand coverage.
And today, as you may know, there's about 8 million people benefiting from the two companies' medications. This new announcement will make that tens of millions.
Eli Lilly CEO David Ricks in the Oval Office. Fox's Tanya J. Powers.
The drugs, also known as GLP-1s, are part of a new wave of obesity medications that have skyrocketed in popularity in recent years. They've been lucrative for the drug makers. Lilly recently said that sales of Zepbound have tripled so far this year to more than $9 billion.
The Trump administration says coverage will expand to Medicare patients beginning next year, with some lower prices also phased in for patients without coverage. The U.S. Health Secretary calls it another tool in the broader fight to fight chronic disease in the U.S. Day 37 of the government shutdown, Republicans still urging Democrats to support a spending bill to reopen government. Democrats want talks with the president on health care costs. A federal appeals court gives President Trump another chance to get rid of his conviction in a New York hush money case, ordering a lower court to revisit whether a federal judge considered relevant issues that might have justified moving that case to federal court.
The president was convicted in 2024 on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records to hide payments to adult film actress Stormy Daniels, who claimed an affair with Trump during the 2016 campaign. While the president denied her claim, checks were written while Trump was in office, fueling his push to move the case to federal court, where it could be thrown out on grounds of presidential immunity.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Another country is set to join the Abraham Accords. Kazakhstan. U.S. Mideast envoy Steve Witkoff says a formal announcement is expected later today. America is listening to Fox News.
This month, Pure Talk is supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat vets struggling with PTSD. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. Sure, I like the unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and you will too. But you will love being in business with a company that shares your values. Dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Fair amount of sunshine going through our Thursday afternoon. A bit on the windy side, though temperatures are a touch above average. 65 for the high. Tonight, a lot of clouds. Could be a spot rain shower. Only 55 for the low. Friday, maybe a spot morning shower. Otherwise, partly sunny, windy, and 71. Saturday, mostly sunny, 65. And Sunday, mostly sunny, and only 46 for the high. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
So Illinois is considering gerrymandering the districts in this state now that Indiana might do it? What the hell is J.B. Pritzker talking about? He was in Alton. He was in our listening area when he said that. That makes me even more mad. This man. I cannot take him seriously, but I have to because he basically is the king of Illinois. He's the only king that we allow. Mr. Going for a third term governor, J.B. Pritzker. Sorry to introduce our next guest with such rage. Congressman Darin LaHood, one of 3 Republicans representing Illinois in Congress. There's not a whole lot of gerrymandering left to do, Congressman, but maybe J.B. Pritzker is coming after your seat. What do you think about the governor's comments?
Well, Annie, thanks for having me on. I think you teed up everything exactly right. I mean, it's pure hypocrisy to hear the governor talk about redistricting Illinois because the definition of gerrymandering and the deficiencies of gerrymandering start in Illinois. I mean, that's what I think the rest of the country doesn't realize. In 2020, Governor Pritzker and the Democrat legislature drew the most gerrymandered map in the entire country. And that's not me or Republicans saying it. Princeton University gave Pritzker an F for having a fair map in Illinois. And so he drew a district that is 14 Democrats and 3 Republicans, and I'm fortunate to be one of those 3. But remember, Donald Trump got at least 45% of the vote in the presidential election. So you should have a map that reflects the Republican-Democrat, ratios in the state of Illinois, and they haven't done that. So, listen, Texas reacted to what Illinois did. And don't get me wrong, this is a race to the bottom in many ways, but it started with J.B. Pritzker. So the hypocrisy, and don't forget this, Annie, when Pritzker ran on his first term, he supported the fair map. Yeah. He was against redistricting. He campaigned on that. So it's, speaking out of both sides of his mouth, which is nothing new to him. And so we're in this situation now where he wants to try to squeeze one more Republican seat out of Illinois. And I think what will end up happening is it will backfire because you're going to dilute these other gerrymandered Democrat districts. So careful what you wish for if you want to move forward.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. It's frustrating to be here in my position where my job is to find out what's going on, report it to the people, react to it, and, all that. The hypocrisy from this governor here in the state of Illinois, I, for one, obviously we've been watching it a lot here on the show. I'm a resident of Illinois, but I, for one, have appreciated how he's shown his rear end to the entire country, trying to nominate himself to be the de facto opponent for Donald Trump in every which way that he can possibly show up for that type of a fight. He wakes up every day not to advocate for the Illinois taxpayer, the Illinois resident, the Illinois citizen. he wakes up and tries to figure out how he can try to punch Donald Trump in the nose. I'm wondering how you feel this is faring from your seat there in Congress. Is J.B. Pritzker successfully achieving the goal he's trying to do, which is to create an opposition to Donald Trump on a national stage?
Well, it's all about politics and nothing about policy. He's putting his ambitions to be president of the United States above the citizens of Illinois. And frankly, I think people are getting sick and tired of it. And that's why we're going to have an election a year from now in Illinois. And we got a number of really good candidates that are going to compete in the primary to go and do that. But I think he's worn out his welcome on that. And I think people see through that he's putting blatant political ambition above the citizens of Illinois. You saw that with sanctuary city policies, sanctuary state policies, and then just trying to, as you said, take on Donald Trump at the national level. But people are on to that, and it's very, very frustrating. And then you couple that with he spent about $1 billion on illegal immigrants in the state of Illinois, and we're in debt. It's a factor of all these things, but he, in his delusional mind, thinks he can be president of the United States.
So we're speaking with Congressman Darin LaHood. You represent Illinois' 16th District, one of 3 Republicans in the House of Representatives in the state of Illinois. They've, my district down here, which is the 13th, is the one that Stephen Colbert pointed out to J.B. Pritzker on whatever the late night show is that Stephen Colbert's on. And J.B. Pritzker laughed at it, and he said we had a kindergartner draw that map. And then he didn't defend it. He just said that. It seems as though J.B. Pritzker has no sense of need to defend what he does in Illinois, which means he feels like he's really, really safe and comfortable in the governor's mansion, or more likely Chicago, where he spends most of his time. Is there any possibility in your mind, Congressman LaHood, that Illinois in the midterm election in 2026 could potentially elect an additional Republican to the House of Representatives, or see even one Republican in a statewide office?
Absolutely. I think we're going to have some terrific candidates, many of that have already filed to run in a number of congressional seats across the state of Illinois. So we're going to have some very competitive races. And I got to tell you, outside of Chicago, people are sick and tired of the policies and seeing our state run into the ground. And to your point earlier on this redistricting, I mean, you're disenfranchising voters, and you're really dividing the state, and people see that. And so now part of our job as candidates running next year and as elected office holders is to expose that and to highlight that. And believe me, there'll be a lot of time to do that, but we'll have plenty of ammunition in the state of Illinois to do that.
Congressman Darin LaHood with us right now, Illinois' 16th District Representative. I want to talk about the government shutdown a little bit while we have here. Of course, the House passed the CR, and you've been sent home, as far as I know. I don't know if you're in D.C. or if you're in district right now. What do you make of the shutdown so far, how the Democrats have handled this?
Well, the Schumer shutdown, which it is, continues to hold the American people hostage, and there's real pain that we've seen starting to be exercised across the country. People's SNAP benefits, air traffic controllers being worked to the bone. But let's back up and remember and lay and set the stage, Annie. On September 19th, in a bipartisan way, the House of Representatives and I proudly voted to keep the government open with what's called a clean continuing resolution. We did that in a bipartisan way. We sent it over to the Senate. The Senate now, for the 14th time, has not voted to defeat opening the government. Democrats have had chance after chance to do this. Remember, under the Biden administration, they voted every single time to open the government. What's changed? The only thing that's changed is Donald Trump is in office. Chuck Schumer is getting lots of pressure from AOC and Bernie Sanders in the far left wing of his party. And so we're in this political dilemma. But make no mistake about it, it's the Democrats holding the country hostage. It's not good for the American people. And we got to continue to hold the line, because there's nothing we can give except for opening the federal government, which we've voted to do in the House already.
Congressman LaHood, you are a member of the Ways and Means Committee. As soon as this shutdown is ended, or at some point, everybody's going to have to come to the table and negotiate and try to get all of these bills passed, and so that we can fund our government. Do you have a positive outlook on how that process is going to go? Because this one so far, where we've needed some sort of bipartisan agreement, has not been as achievable.
Well, let's hope we learn some lessons out of this. I mean, the way our country is set up, it is predicated on compromise. That's why our founding fathers, in their brilliance, made a House of Representatives with, now is 435 representatives. So power is diluted. So we have to work together. But I think, yes, there should be enough common sense, particularly coming out of this stupid shutdown that the Democrats caused, to come together for the betterment of the American people, to move the country forward, particularly on the economic side. One thing we saw out of the election the other night is affordability. I think that's why Donald Trump got elected, was to fix the economy. So, yes, we're going to have to come together, and I'm not going to compromise my principles, but it's something that we have to do collectively to move the country forward, and there's lots of opportunities to do that once we open the government back up.
Well, last question, more on the Illinois state home front. Before we let you go, we're speaking with Congressman Darin LaHood of Illinois 16th District. If Illinois is to get itself right here in the 2026 election, to get at least one statewide official elected that's a Republican, hopefully governor, maybe get one of the chambers of the state legislature out of the super minority of Republicans, we need what? For a statewide, we need maybe 24% of Cook County. You're one of us. You're one of those that are outside of Cook County, as I understand it. Do you think that with the national stage that J.B. Pritzker has thrust the far, far left progressive policies of the Illinois Democrat Party, do you think that 24% is in reach in Cook County to give Illinois some hope for the future?
I do, but we have to recruit good candidates. That's number one. Number two, we have to talk about the right issues. And I think, again, affordability, bringing down the cost of energy. I mean, we can play a big role at the federal level in doing that. We've already done it on the tax side with taking care of making permanent a number of the tax provisions. We have to work on trade. We have to work on the regulatory environment and work on affordability. If a year from right now, Annie, we have brought down interest rates, we've brought down inflation, we've brought down energy costs, we've made things affordable. And clearly, I think we have the ability to do that with the Republican Congress. Yes, absolutely. And message that the right way to Cook County, we can absolutely pick up those votes. And so that should be our goal between now and next year. And I think if we do that, we can turn it red or purple.
Purple, I'll take purple. Affordability, affordability, affordability. I hear what you're saying, Congressman LaHood. Thank you for having a conversation with us about it here today.
Always good to be with you, Annie. Take care.
You as well. Bye-bye. Congressman Darin LaHood represents Illinois' 16th District. As I said, one of 3 Republicans in Congress out of the state of Illinois. And if you heard what J.B. Pritzker said at the beginning of the segment when he was visiting in Alton, he is saying that the Democrats, they're going to consider what kind of gerrymandering opportunities might exist here for us. If Indiana's going to do it, Illinois might do it too. Oh my gosh. The hold my beer of stupid leftist politics. Governor J.B. Pritzker. Quick break here. We're going to have Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt on with us at 1:30. We're going to talk Arctic frost with Senator Schmitt. We're also going to ask him about the shutdown. A lot of people, including Eric Schmitt himself, suggested that they just are trying to hold the government closed, make people angry, make people worry about their ability to afford things, take away their government benefits, make them angry for 30 days leading up into that Tuesday election day. And then maybe the Democrats will come to the table and they'll open it up afterwards. I've heard that there are potentially 12 Democrats in the Senate who are ready to come to the table and, be moderate and make a compromise. The timing of that. Senator Eric Schmitt at 1:30. Let's get back here and talk about the YouTube live chat poll next.
The boathouse, I'll show you my dark secret.
Stewart's American Mortgage. He's that bagel loan guy. You hear me talking about him all the time, about how you can get a more affordable setup for your mortgage. I'm talking about new purchases on homes, but I'm also talking about that current mortgage that you have right now. And I don't even really care when you got that mortgage. You could have a mortgage that's 15 years old. You could have one that's 1 year old. And maybe rates have come down. Maybe you want to shorten the term of the mortgage that you have right now from 30 to a 20 or whatever it might be. A bagel loan's the smartest way to do it. Here's why. You don't pay anything in closing costs to go through that process. You're going to work directly with Stewie when you call him or text him at 314-324-4440. That's his direct line, 314-324-4440. And you're going to talk to Stewie about the bagel loan. Tell him Annie said hello. He'll love that. And get the conversation started today. Remember, it's a mortgage or a mortgage refinance that comes with $0 in closing costs, thousands of dollars that stay in your pocket, and you walk away with a better economic situation for yourself. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants, so
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
Navigating healthcare can be tricky, but you don't have to do it alone. The Navigator Project is here to help Missourians every step of the way. We provide free, personalized assistance with enrollment in the healthcare marketplace. We'll guide you through your options, help find the right plan, and get the coverage you need. Go to ma4web.org and select the Services tab to find a navigator. Brought to you by the Missouri Association of Area Agencies on Aging.
For 100 years, KMOX has been part of St. Louis. Now, Together Credit Union is helping celebrate that legacy. Starting in November, visit any Together Credit Union branch to pick up a KMOX 100th anniversary commemorative ornament for just $5 while supplies last. Each ornament supports Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis. Together Credit Union, honoring 100 years of KMOX, the voice of St. Louis, and Children's Miracle Network of Greater St. Louis, improving the health of all children.
Sponsored by Progressive. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Live, local, and conservative. It's the Annie Fry Show. 97.1 FM Talk.
Regardless of the Schumer shutdown, the Democrats will terminate the filibuster the first chance they get. They will pack the Supreme Court of the United States, pick up 2 states, that's a lot of states, and add at least 8 electoral votes. Their 2 objectors are gone. Remember, Sinema and Manchin, they're gone. Don't be weak. Don't be stupid, Republicans. Fight, fight, fight. Win, win, win. We will immediately end the extortionist shutdown, get all of our agenda passed, and make life so good for Americans that these deranged Democrat politicians will never again have the chance to destroy America. They tried to destroy your country. Republicans, you will rue the day that you didn't terminate the filibuster. Be tough, be smart, and win. This is much bigger than the shutdown. This is the survival of our country. Terminate the filibuster, and let's live the great life that this country is capable of living.
President Trump speaking, I guess, from the Oval Office there. Not the Oval Office, I mean the White House. Not 100% sure. It's a nice room. It's not the Mar-a-Lago room that he was doing all of his campaign videos from, and I just felt like every time they couldn't get the lighting right. It just kind of looked weird. But he's got a very nice presentation there. He's obviously reading from a teleprompter because he's straight to the point, straight to the message, and he's saying, get rid of the filibuster. We asked this question on Monday because it was, we're waiting to see what was going to happen with the election, and we heard the president say last week, you got to get rid of the filibuster. We got to get everything done. The Democrats are going to do it. The argument that the president is making is that if you want to straighten your tie and stand on ceremony because the filibuster is important for the Senate, that's great, but you're the only one of 2 parties in the Senate is going to abide by that. And when the other guys get in there, They're going to nuke that thing so fast. He says it's the first thing that they're going to do. They're going to get rid of it, and then they're going to do all the crazy things that they've always threatened and that the filibuster has stood in the way. With the course of the way the Democrat Party is moving, and now that we've had, I told myself I was going to give myself a week to kind of feel out how I felt about that, specifically the Mamdani election, but across the board, Chuck Schumer was very proud of the shellacking that took place with all the Democrat victories in all the very blue states. Slow clap for Chuck Schumer. He needed a win. Give the guy a win. Give him a slushie. Like a slushie that you get after a Little League win,
Yeah, slush puppy.
Blue, no, are those at the
that's the ones
concession
we always
stands?
had.
At the concession stand?
Oh, yeah.
Slush puppy?
Yeah.
Red, white cups, maybe?
Mhm. Uh-huh.
They had 'em? He needs a blue raspberry one.
Mm-hmm. Or a mix.
No, it needs to be blue.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
They got to win. I mean, boy, I don't know that they could have handled another loss. They haven't been handling this last one a year ago very well. But do you think Chuck Schumer? Do you think Chuck Schumer's replacement, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, when she gets into the, she might take his seat and become the Senate minority leader, majority leader, whatever. She might go straight to the top if she actually primaries him and is successful, which would not be in this next election, but in 2 more years after that. We're asking you this question. We asked it to you on Monday, but I feel like we've journeyed a little bit of time since last Monday. We've had a communist elected in New York City to be the mayor there, and we are seeing that the Democrat Party, I was just saying this before, I was going to give myself like a week to kind of feel out, get my feels out about that election so I could get back into the proper headspace to react accordingly to specifically the filibuster issue. And I have a solution for this. And I'm not gonna go into it right now. Our options on today's poll are the same ones that they were on Monday's poll. Do you support the Republican Senate majority removing the filibuster? Yes, but just for the shutdown. Yes, like Trump says, for everything. Or no, you don't support it. On Monday, I was a no. On Monday, Ryan, you were a yes for the shutdown only. Brad, you were a yes for the shutdown only. None of us in here said yes for everything. So that's where we were on Monday. We're going to talk in a little bit about, in the 2 o'clock hour, we're going to talk about where we are right now on this and revisit and see if even in this amount of time, 4 days, 3.5 days pass, have we changed our mind? Have you changed your mind? You can go into the Annie Fry YouTube chat and vote right there in the live chat poll and tell us what you think about the Republican the Republican opportunity to remove the filibuster in the Senate, but the President of the United States, President Donald J. Trump, saying, do it now and do it for everything. Maybe that influences your thought and your vote. And then we'll compare our Thursday poll results to Monday's because we have those written down. We're going to speak to Senator Eric Schmitt in just a minute. Remember Arctic frost? I hope so, because it's pretty fresh in our minds. This is where Jack Smith, somehow or another, got Judge Boasberg out of bed at night to approve a bunch of subpoenas so that he could spy on all of these Republican senators and a few congressmen, all Republican. And Arctic frost was the play to get all of this information to get to the place where we could, or where Jack Smith could spy on these individuals that were all Trump allies, opponents of Joe Biden and the Democrat Party. This is an outrageous story, and it's getting worse and worse as they find out exactly how it was played out and how it was manipulated in order to politically gain for the Democrat Party. Our favorite Senator, Eric Schmitt, next on the show. Don't go away.
Stop till we're legend. Here we go. It's my turn to make history.
The Retirement Advisory Group is online at retirementkey.com, 314-993-9494. That's the number to call right now and schedule a free review of your retirement with no obligation at the end. Just sit and listen to what they have to say. And I think you'll find that they're like 4 decades of helping people as the Retirement Advisory Group that are in exactly your situation here, that are really close to retirement. Some of you might have even just retired and you're thinking, Did I do everything I needed to do? Am I in the right spot? If you're nearing retirement and you're wondering how long your money is going to last you, if you're worried about a market correction that's going to spook you and you don't know if you can withstand something like that, let the Retirement Advisory Group build you a personalized, structured income plan. When you call them at 314-993-9494, that's 314-993-9494, you're going to set up a free conversation with them so that you can guarantee yourself that you're going to have the peace of mind of being on the right track. RetirementKey.com.
License number E2014A.
Hey, it's good to see you.
Dad, that's what Grandpa Rip always said.
That's right. 50 years ago, Grandpa started Grasser, and whenever a customer called, he'd smile and say, "Hey, it's good to see you."
Hey, it's good to see you.
It was his way of treating people like neighbors, not numbers. That's why we still say it today.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Hey, it's good to see you.
When it comes to affordable term life insurance, everyone's whistling the Big Lou tune. If you're over 50, maybe a bit porky, or have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost about $200 a month. Even if you're not in perfect health, call Big Lou, because he specializes in finding big chunks of affordable term life insurance for just about everyone. Don't let diabetes or other health glitches keep you from owning $500,000 to $1 million or more of term life insurance. For affordable term life insurance, call Big Lou. Don't hesitate. Call 800-700-6898, 800-700-6898, or visit biglou.com.
Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Call Big Lou, don't hesitate. 800-700-6898. Visit biglou.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
The question we're asking you today is, do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? Yes for the shutdown only, yes for everything, or no? We're re-asking this question because we've asked it before. We just want to see if anything's changed in the last few days for you. It's the YouTube live chat poll. Let us know what you think. We'll give you the results at the end of the show. It is 1:30 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Still leading 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
They pursued in my records, and they asked for I to give them information on text, voicemail, how I paid my bills, all sorts of things like that. And this is the third time. So they tried to shut me up as a business guy. Then they tried to embarrass me with my tax returns, and then this.
So there's Senator Rick Scott talking about Arctic frost and what Jack Smith was asked to do, allowed to do, whatever the situation is. Why is it that Republicans, elected officials sent to Washington, D.C. to represent you? Why were they spied on? What were they going to do with the information they found out in the text messages, in the tax returns, as Senator Scott says they were going to try to embarrass him with those? What were they up to? I mean, we've got some evidence in other cases, certainly, what they were willing to try to pull to manifest against President Trump. Certainly, it doesn't seem like if you're an elected Republican into Washington, D.C., that you are safe from the bureaucracy that is the deep state. So let's talk to our favorite senator, Eric Schmitt, back on the Annie Frey Show with us. Senator, thank you for the time today. It's always good to have you here. Might be muted on. Are they muted on their side? There we go.
We're back. All right. It's good to be with you, Annie. How are you?
Doing okay, thank you. You're part of this, right? You're part of being a target for Arctic frost. What do you know about what they sought out for you?
It's pretty sweeping. So basically 3 days after President Trump announces he's running for president again in 2022, the entire system was weaponized against him and his family and to put him in jail for the rest of his life. But it's much bigger than kind of show me the man, I'll show you the crime. It was they were going after the movement altogether. And if you were a Republican who had something to say that they didn't like, basically, they were coming after you. So there were 9 U.S. senators who were part of this spying operation. And then a number of hundreds of other individuals and organizations. So it wasn't just the elected officials, including the Republican Attorneys General Association, which I happened to be the chair of at the time. And so they came at RAGA, as is what it's called, because at the time, as you remember, I came on your show quite a bit. We were, suing the hell out of Joe Biden on all kinds of stuff. But this just kind of goes to show you the abuse that was taking place with Jack Smith. And it's important to remember who Jack Smith was. Jack Smith was the guy, like the henchman you go to for a special prosecutor if you just want him to find any crime, anywhere, made up to achieve a political ends, which is what this was. I mean, they hardly hide it. The other thing I think that's worth noting, Annie, is we need to find out not just the full extent of all this, because remember, this is just coming out because of whistleblowers. Like, that's the only reason we have this information is whistleblowers in DOJ have come forward. So we have a lot more information to gather, but also what was the coordination that was happening here between Jack Smith, Alvin Bragg's office, where the number 3 person left DOJ to go to his office? That's kind of stupid, right? Why would a number 3 person DOJ go to a state district attorney's office?
Yeah.
And then in Atlanta, prosecutors there were meeting with White House officials. So there's a lot more that we need to learn here, but clearly this was such an abuse of process. This was such a betrayal for America, and they had no regrets. I mean, Jack Smith wants to testify. Great. I can't wait for that. But we need to get all this information first.
So explain to us how this works, because obviously we get to be a party to if Congress, if there's a congressional investigation that's going on, because you want to get answers. When you get answers, oftentimes, not always, they become public and then we can consume it. Is there an investigation into Jack Smith, potentially into Judge Boasberg, who I'd like you to speak about a little bit? There are these names. They just keep popping back up. It's the usual suspects, and then you look a little bit deeper, and if it's not a name we've heard about, it's somebody's daughter or son or uncle or something like that. There seems to be a group of people who are trying to justify a means to an end, and it's the same people every time. Where are the investigations taking place?
Yeah, so Pam Bondi was in front of the Judiciary Committee about a month ago now, I guess 3 or 4 weeks ago, and she was pretty, rightfully so, pretty tight-lipped about some of these things because that would tell me that there's an ongoing investigation. One of the reasons why I don't think it's a good idea to have a special prosecutor named here right now on the Arctic frost stuff is that once that happens with a special prosecutor potentially, all of that stuff, then you're never going to see it because that is then kind of like a closed grand jury case. You're not going to see the documents. So one of the things that I'm advocating for is, no, we want the Senate Judiciary Committee to get all these documents from the Department of Justice and the FBI and the Special Counsel's Office so that we can then make it public, right? Ours wouldn't be closed. Ours would be very open. And I think such an important part of all of this is for the American people in Watergate-style hearings for months to be educated about how insane this whole thing was. I mean, you layer this on top of, Annie, the censorship that was happening for millions of voices at the very same time for things like people had a point of view on COVID or masks or Hunter Biden laptop or whatever. They were being censored by their government with big tech companies. That's happening at the same time that you have criminal investigations that have been opened to go after sitting United States senators whose crime was they were Republicans. Like that's, I mean, the best way I think to summarize it and why this is so dangerous.
And everybody here listening knows, especially those who supported you to represent them from the state of Missouri in the United States Senate, that when they go after you, they are going after them. They're going after those of us who think like you and look at you and you go, Eric Schmitt is the best representative for me and the way I want to see this country go. I need him to be in the Senate because I need him to be my voice. And I think the people of Missouri certainly feel that and want to know those things. I'm going to ask you a question. This is a tough question for me to ask, but I want to hear your answer on it because you said, and I've heard this repeated many, many times, you want to have Watergate-style hearings on this. And I want to tell you that I don't remember the Watergate. I've heard about them. I've learned about them. But I want to understand in plain speak, when you say Watergate style hearings for the American public to consume, what does that end up looking like for the people who are out there right now listening in their 30s who've only heard about it?
Well, for the record, I wasn't born yet either.
I knew. You're in your 40s,
but-
right? You're still in your
Yeah,
40s.
well, I just turned 50, so I was
Okay.
born in 1975. So, but what it means is that you really get, I like to tell people, like I'm on different committees. I'm on the Armed Services Committee, I'm on the Commerce Committee, I'm on the Judiciary Committee. They all have their own personalities. Judiciary Committee is like Thunderdome, basically. Like you
We
walk
tune
in
into
there
those.
and you basically each side kind of sends their gladiators in to ask the tough questions. But I think whether it's Judiciary Committee or some select committee that I would love to be a part of, where you have people who have been, lawyers trained to ask tough questions, that's what we should do. We should bring in what Jack Smith, of course, should come in. Other people should come in who had any particular role in this, and what it's meant to uncover for the American people in this news cycle that changes. It's not even 24 hours anymore, Annie. Your show, from the time you go on to the time you sign off, the topics can fluctuate dramatically based on what's happening in those few hours, right? So to try to really focus the attention on the American people about how egregious this really was. If you think about it, this was an attempt by the government of the United States to throw political opponents in jail, to make sure Americans couldn't have a choice at the ballot box, to prevent certain people from being elected, and to intimidate others who spoke out about it. I can't think of, like that, if you were just to describe it like that, that's like Stalin, Soviet Union stuff.
Right.
Right? But that's here. So if this doesn't get us worked up to do something about it, I don't know what will, because it's a really, really dangerous road to go down. Because if they're successful, and by the way, if President Trump wouldn't have won, or if they would have been successful, and their only regret, by the way, is that they didn't start all this sooner. They've said that. But if he wouldn't have won, all this stuff would be, not in the public view. It'd be a conspiracy theory. They found a lot of this stuff in burn bags, in FBI, literally FBI burn bags.
Yeah.
So this is your government. And this is why I was elected, or why I ran, is I hate the fact that the government that is funded by us and is turned against the people. And Missourians have always been very suspicious. You can go back to our, when we entered the Union, and I can tell you a story about the state seal and why it's there's a belt buckle on our state seal. Missourians have always been very suspicious of a federal government 1,000 miles away telling us how to live our lives. Certainly trying to criminally prosecute those whose only crime, again, was to say, wait a minute, what are you doing here? So anyway, I think it's important. And those hearings, I think, would amplify it. By the way, they can also lead to further resignations, as they did under Watergate. They can lead to criminal referrals. You presumably would have subpoena power to compel people to come. That would be an important element of all this, too.
I think that it's also important if Judiciary is doing a televised hearing, I'm 100% there for it. And we've commented before. I'd have to find the clip where your style versus your cohort there, Senator Hawley. You have very different styles, and we love both of them. But the idea that you can publicly compel people to testify, doesn't that also include private hearings where you can ask questions that maybe can't be discussed as much out in the open, and that's documented and the records are kept there? And then, as you just mentioned here, you can also refer for criminal investigation from the Justice Department to follow up what you're able to discover.
Yeah, and you just think of it as a kind of a typical kind of investigation. Some people you want to talk to because they're not actually the one, like they may know something, but that may not be like the prime time event. It's like that is the person you interview to understand what happened that lead you to other people.
Sure.
Right. And I think that's what will be very important, which is why we want all the documents. Like right now, we just have a snippet of these documents that come by way of whistleblowers. And if you're going to have Jack Smith in front of there, what you don't want to have is Jack Smith already know all this information and him come before the committee with all that information. And people like me and Senator Hawley and Senator Cruz and whoever else who's on that committee, we don't have the benefit of that information for a cross-examination. Like, that would be malpractice. So that's part of this. So we need to be able to make sure we gather all this evidence. And I know, look, there's a sense of urgency. People are pissed off about this and they want us to do something about it. And I hear it and I do too. The thing that you got to do though is you got to, if we're going to do this right, we want to have all that information and then make the most of this, because I do think, you could go back to the Russiagate stuff. All this is the fruit of the same poisonous tree, which was Donald Trump to the establishment here was viewed as an existential threat. And they never forgave him for coming down the escalator in the first place. And from that, you saw the Russiagate, you saw the Hunter Biden laptop, you saw this stuff. They just never liked him, and his supporters were, ask Barack Obama, bitter clingers, ask Hillary Clinton, basket of deplorables, ask Joe Biden, trash. Ask Joe Biden, threats to democracy. That's how they view half the country, more than half the country. Yeah. So anyway, I think this is important, expose it, and then there to be, referrals potentially. But I just don't think you can have a Justice Department acting like this against, elected officials and normal people. And that's what was happening.
Agree completely. Before we let you go, we appreciate your time. We're speaking with Senator Eric Schmitt. The shutdown is still happening. You were one of a few people out there maybe over the weekend saying, hey, I think they're going to hold this out to the election. They want to win in their blue states. They want to win bigly. And after that, you're hearing rumblings that maybe you're going to see some moderate Democrats in the Senate come to their senses to end the filibuster so that the vote can happen. You think that's what's going to take place?
I do. I think that the more radical members on their side were emboldened, which is to be expected. I think it's also important to put that Tuesday in context real quick. These are blue states in a 25 election, not even a midterm, right? It's really not a surprise that the people who won. Now, the actual individuals, maybe like Mondami Zakami and the James guy in Virginia is fantasizing about murdering his political opponents and their kids. That's a little surprising. So, but the fact that Democrats won those spots isn't that surprising to me. Yeah. And remember, the Republican Party now is more of a it's a broader base and more lower propensity voters, right? Meaning people that don't vote in every election. I wish they would, but not everybody does. It's more of a presidential year kind of party. Now, we need to mobilize that and change that dynamic, but that's the truth. So I don't take too much from this, but I do think the Democrats were never going to let the energy and all the histrionics that they go through every day about this is Trump's shutdown and he's trying to do all this. They were never going to let that go to Election Day. So I do think you're seeing, even today, we just had a lunch about it. I think there are 5 to 10 Democrats, more moderate members, who think this is silly and think it's stupid and it needs to end, because here's what's about to happen. Again, Republicans, over 13 times now have voted to open the government. Democrats have voted no. That's the truth. You can say there's other stuff that we should do in debate, and that's fine. You can do it after the fact, but we're not going to do that you just got to open the government, have whatever discussions you're going to have about other things later. But the truth is, this weekend, Sean Duffy said, 10% of flights are going to be grounded.
Yeah.
And you start getting into Thanksgiving, and the air traffic controllers are the ones that are still showing up are working without pay for more than a month now. That's stupid. And so anyway,
super stupid.
I think this is going to become very real for a lot more people than it is right now. And Democrats, look, I get the politics of stuff. I'm in it. I understand it. This isn't a game. This is they think maximum chaos helps them, and that's so cynical. But that's who they are right now, because they don't have a leader and they don't have a message.
Yeah, that's what they've got. Do you think the Duffy move on the canceling flights, is that to help manage the level of traffic, or is it a political move? Maybe both?
No, I think it's safety. I think it's safety related. The numbers of actual people, air traffic controllers showing up to towers is down.
Yikes.
I think it would be irresponsible, to pretend that that's not a reality, And so I don't want to see that happen. I fly back and forth from St. Louis to DC every week, twice, right? I don't want to see this happen, and I know that. But at the same time, I think he's trying to manage this balance of convenience and safety, and it's only going to get harder and harder the fewer people that show up to work because they're not getting paid.
Well, we appreciate you for working hard, and we hope that the shutdown is ended very quickly. The Democrats come to their senses, maybe. We'll see. But Senator Eric Schmitt, your voice is always welcome here anytime. Thank you for giving us some of that today.
Thanks, Annie.
Talk
We'll
to
see
you
you.
soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Senator Eric Schmitt, Missouri Senator, our favorite senator here on the Annie Fry Show, getting straight to the point, and I love every bit of it. If you're somebody who's been targeted by Arctic frost, and you know that they've been peeking around like that, like how enraged would you be? Like, how upset are you when you find out that somebody in your household was, scrolling through the texts or a little bit, checking what you've been looking at Facebook? That would enrage you, right? Now you be a United States senator and your political opposition, mobilized by an administration that wants to make sure that you fail and that everybody around you fails, is working with Verizon to be able to peek behind the curtain and see what you've been doing. I'd have a big problem with it. And fortunately, we have the right people in place to investigate it and get to the bottom of it. Eric Schmitt on the Annie Fry Show. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Screaming in the jungle, complete the motion if you stumble. Go ask the dust for any answers. Come back strong with 50 belly dancers. The world I love, the tears I've dropped to be part of the wave can't stop.
The Dittamore Group, that's the DittamoreGroup.com. Looking to list your home. Maybe you're thinking about selling in the new year. You want the best. You want to hire the Dittamore Group. Tammy Dittamore has built a team that is top-notch. Honesty, integrity, really well-respected in the communities that they have worked in. And boy, they have worked in a lot of them. When you've got a great team like Tammy, Zach, Pat, Abby, and Trisha, they are able to service both sides of the river. They have expertise in the neighborhood you're looking to sell in. And if you're thinking about buying, they have, if you can hear me on this radio station, they have worked in that neighborhood. They are well known, they are respected, and they have values just like you do to get the job done right, to make sure that they're not passing on giving you honest feedback for a top dollar sale, but doing it in a way that you don't dread when you have to have the next conversation. Call the Dittamore Group at 618-531-4652. 618-531-4652. Online at thedittamore.com.
It's an annual tradition, the Florissant Veterans Day Parade at 1 p.m. on Sunday, November 9th. Come out and show your support as we salute the brave men and women who serve our nation. Details and parade route at 971talk.com/events.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this: everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/radio for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/radio. See representative for warranty details.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
YouTube poll, do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? Yes for the shutdown only, yes for everything, or no. Senator Schmitt, among other people on X that I've been reading, have been alluding to the fact that the Democrats in the Senate, there are a handful of them, 5 to 10 of them, that are likely going to be moving on getting the shutdown over with. So I would expect that maybe we see a vote on this again sometime soon. Maybe it's not till next week. Maybe this goes through Monday of next week. But it does look as though the Democrats in the Senate are shifting a little bit on their willingness to stand by keeping the government shut down. Republicans have voted in favor of opening the government over and over and over again. The Democrats have voted against it. It's that simple. It really isn't any more complicated than that. The Democrats have said, no, we're not opening the government.
And if we have some Democrats that are in the Senate who are willing to flip over and reopen things, we're still talking about a short-term CR, right?
The Senate would change the CR to say we're going to make it go through December 15th, January 15th, and then it would send it back to the House. What I've been told, the House would not have any problem passing that. So you'd probably get Democrat support for it as well.
So in light of the poll today, we're talking about, do you support the GOP Senate majority removing this filibuster? The idea that the shutdown would be over really isn't, though, because they'd still be negotiating over the long-term budget. The
shutdown would be over.
Yeah, but the short-term issue would be taken care of, but they'd still be arguing over the bigger budget, right?
Well, that's what they've been asking to do this whole time.
Yeah.
The shutdown would be over.
Yeah. Until that date hit or whatever. That new date.
Okay. Right now, the House passed on September 19th, I think it was, a continuing resolution and sent the continuing resolution to the Senate to say, if you pass this continuing resolution, which is an extension of exactly the same funding that the government has been functioning on since last year. So this had been passed before. We want to extend the exact same funding to November 21st. November 21st should give us enough time between September 19th and November 21st for us to negotiate the bills that we need to negotiate to make sure we can fund the budget for the next fiscal year. When the Senate got that, the Senate Democrats said, no, we're not doing this because we need you to add some things into this continuing resolution. We're not passing a continuing resolution that extends exactly what we've been okay with or have passed before and gone all year doing. We're going to add some things into it. And the things that they tried to add into it is a continuation of subsidies that were going to sunset that helped make more affordable health care for citizens, but also for non-citizens, for people who are here illegally. And that's really an important thing for people to understand is these are Democrat subsidies that were put in to make the Unaffordable Care Act more affordable, that the Democrats, remember, the Democrats are the ones who created and passed the Affordable Care Act. Republicans did not vote for it. It became unaffordable, even to the extent that the Democrats were willing to acknowledge that it was unaffordable. So the Democrats passed these subsidies during COVID to the Unaffordable Care Act to say we need to make this more accessible for more people, including non-citizens and illegal immigrants. They said we need to add more taxpayer dollars and to make this more affordable for people. The Democrats, when they passed that, sunset those subsidies to end right now. And the Democrats now are saying, this is a disaster. It's going to be unaffordable for everybody because, of course, the Unaffordable Care Act is, in fact, unaffordable. So the Democrats are the ones who put this into place. The Democrats are the ones who made these subsidies sunset now. And they're saying, no, we can't have that happen. The costs are going to be too high because the Unaffordable Care Act is unaffordable. So they're adding to this CR the need to extend these subsidies, which is exactly something that they could argue for in the actual negotiations while the government was open. They could be working to make sure that they don't sunset. And you, if you're a government employee, could be getting a paycheck right now if the Democrats would show up and do their flipping job and pass the CR and make it so that they can negotiate while the government is open. They will extend the CR when they get something done. Let's talk more about it when we come back. Don't go away.
The ACA Market Plan has just announced significant increases on their monthly premiums for 2026, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Greg Hammond's Freedom of Choice plans now. You don't have to wait. One of their plans lets you use any doctor, has 0 outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower than most Obamacare plans. Other options are full coverage PPOs with national networks, copays, and 100% annual preventative care. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg, and they'll provide all available options. Call 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
Well, it's holiday season, and we have savings for you to enjoy at Ruler Foods. You ready to go get your turkey? Don't be the last people to go get it, and then you're like trying to find one anywhere. Like, I'll take any turkey. You can save big at Ruler Foods right now on a Kroger frozen turkey. They're 10 to 20 pounds. They're 99 cents a pound. That's fantastic. A limit of 4, but you can go to Ruler Foods right now, get that sucker, and put it in the freezer at your house, and then you don't have to worry about a last-minute rush on turkeys. You don't want to have that kind of panic, do you? You can also save on eggs. It's always good to be able to save on eggs. Kroger 12-count eggs. You get a dozen of them. Buy 2, get 1 free with a limit of 9. Red or white seedless grapes on sale right now, $1.49 a pound. And don't forget that Ruler Foods offers delivery. Get all your favorite Super Saver deals, fresh produce, household essentials delivered directly to your door. So you can shop smart, spend less, and save more with Ruler Foods delivery. Learn everything you need to do for that online at rulerfoods.com.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $139 and take $50 off air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResSTL.com.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit YourMoneyMattersSTL.com for more details.
If you're looking for the best eye care in St. Louis, look no further than the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer. Make your appointment today at youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
There's no off-ramp. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, on day 37 of a government shutdown.
Earlier this week, it was thought that the Senate might craft a spending deal and coax Democratic senators to vote yes, but Democrats appear emboldened after Tuesday's election results.
Fox's chat program on Capitol Hill.
Democrats want a guarantee of aid to defray the cost of Obamacare, but they don't want a promise of a vote. Pressure is mounting on lawmakers to find a fix as aviation delays snowball.
Tomorrow, flight reductions begin at major airports around the country to help ease shortages of air traffic controllers. United Airlines just confirming it plans to cut 4% of its flights tomorrow through Sunday. That's expected to mean less than 200 daily cancellations for United as part of the planned phase-in of capacity reductions the FAA ordered. A verdict just in for the former Justice Department employee who threw a sandwich at a federal agent during the president's law enforcement surge in D.C. The jury finding him not guilty of assault. His lawyers argued it was a harmless gesture during an act of protest protected by the First Amendment. The makers of 2 popular weight loss drugs, Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, agree to expand coverage and cut prices.
This will slash the cost of Wegovy from $1,350 a month to ultimately $250 a month. $1,350 to $250.
And President Trump says oral versions of the drugs still in development will be at $149 if they win approval. Coverage of the drugs for obesity is to expand to Medicare patients beginning next year, with some lower prices also being phased in for patients without coverage. The president says it will save lives and improve health for millions. A possible truce in Sudan, the group that's been at war with Sudan's military for over 2 years, says it agrees to a truce proposed by a U.S.-led group. America is listening to Fox News.
This month, Pure Talk is supporting Canines for Warriors, a terrific organization that trains rescue dogs and then pairs them up with combat vets struggling with PTSD. This is why I switched to Pure Talk. Sure, I like the unlimited talk, text, and plenty of 5G data for just $25 a month, and you will too. But you will love being in business with a company that shares your values. Dial pound 250, say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Fair amount of sunshine going through our Thursday afternoon. A bit on the windy side, though temperatures are a touch above average. 65 for the high. Tonight, a lot of clouds. Could be a spot rain shower. Only 55 for the low. Friday, maybe a spot morning shower. Otherwise, partly sunny, windy, and 71. Saturday, mostly sunny, 65. And Sunday, mostly sunny, and only 46 for the high. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Time to get ready for cold weather and schedule your heating system check. Get not just your heating system, but your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the Preferred Partner Plan. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Fry, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
You know, you keep hearing these stories. A lot of times I see them from, I'm not even going to say Facebook, but I bet they reside in Facebook the most. The stories of people encountering just really terrible circumstances with ICE. The Washington Post tweets out, it's an article. I'm not going to read the article. I'm not even going to click on the link. Armed ICE officers arrested a teacher early Wednesday in Chicago after chasing her onto the grounds of a private preschool and grabbing her as parents and students looked on, according to local official and witnesses. So if you haven't yet, Homeland Security, which is at DHS.gov on X, they are retweeting all of these propagandist bullcrap stories that are being put out there to sensationalize people into becoming very emotional over how ICE is looking to deport people who are here illegally. Now, I say this with the caveat of there are people that ICE is trying to get who are hardened violent criminals here in the country after they've come here illegally. There are also people who are here illegally who have kind of been blending into the system, probably living lives very parallel to yours and mine, but they just haven't gone through the trouble to get their legal status, or they've avoided the problem, or they tried maybe for particular reasons and it's been too complicated for them to pursue it or to actually achieve it. The first group, the hardened violent criminals, I wish we could take a poll of the entire electorate and say, do we agree that if you are here and you've hurt a child, you've stolen from a store, you've beaten a woman, you've raped somebody, you've killed somebody, and you're here illegally, can we just collectively agree that those people should get the hell out of this country? I would like to think so, but we're not allowed to have nuanced conversations about this because everybody runs to their corners. The problem that I have, and I haven't seen this yet. Brad, if you could look this up while I'm going to read the DHS response to the Washington Post article about the Staunton, Mexican restaurant owner who was... The story that is on Facebook right now, when you hear it from people, is that he was taken while he was dropping his kids off at school. There's a detail there. He wasn't taken while his kids were... He wasn't taken from the school. They, followed him a few blocks away. Now, I understand that if you're someone who believes these people should be able to stay here, that they should be given some sort of legal status or whatever. If you want to just Santa Claus that out, I respect that there are people who have a different opinion and perspective on that issue for me, but it does matter that he wasn't taken in front. Like, you're sensationalizing a story by changing the details to say he was taken like from his kids' arms while dropping them off at school. Like, just give the facts. I would think that if he's as much of a contributing member of society as people have said that he is, and I know people personally who knew him personally who are advocating very much for his right to be here, I still don't know what his immigration status is. And I'm not saying that if you found out, there are people listening right now who would find out that his immigration status was here illegally. And my understanding from the stories that I continue to hear, he's been here for 2 decades. If he still has illegal status here, there are many people who would say, I don't care, let him stay. But I can't react to any of it when the only reporting on this story is that he's got a great restaurant, he's contributed to the community quite a bit, and I snatched him for no particular reason, when we don't actually know the reason why he was detained. Like, I need to know the facts before I decide to run down the path of deport them all, or run down the path of, I think we should have compassion here as a society, and we should try to figure out a way to put him on the path to a legal status while he is here in the country. One of those paths, one or the other. I don't know the facts. How can I develop an opinion on a particular circumstance in a community where I am near? How can I develop an opinion on it when all of the people who are reporting on this story haven't pursued the facts before they're willing to inject the emotion into the story? It's so disingenuous. It's so dishonest. And I'm not going to be played like that. I need the facts in order to make a decision. And I would think, no, I wouldn't. I should smack myself, that the media would want to get the facts too. What a dummy I am, said the media lady.
I'll say the same thing about this story as I said last time, which is that I know Staunton very well. I didn't know this guy, but I know a lot of people from Staunton and who run businesses in Staunton. This problem only exists now because he's been here for what? I think it was 20 years, right? Or something like that. A pretty long time. The only reason that deportations became something that people were willing to vote for is because of the administration of Joe Biden. Before that happened, this guy was living illegally in the United States. Now, you can debate whether he should have been deported before that or not, because the law is the law. But it only politically became viable that the country said, we actually have to address this problem, because the Biden administration, I don't want to say they didn't enforce immigration law. They opened it up and declared free reign and encouraged illegal immigration, mostly using the asylum program, and were pretty open about it. They paid lip service to the fact that we really want to stay home, or whatever Kamala said. But ultimately, their goal was to bring in as many illegal aliens as possible. And they did it. And it's causing these things to happen that wouldn't have happened otherwise.
I want to get back to the story from the Washington Post. Armed ICE officers arrested a teacher early Wednesday in Chicago after chasing her onto grounds of a private preschool and grabbing her as parents and students looked on, according to local official and witnesses. So DHS Gov on X is taking these stories, retweeting them, and saying this is what actually happened, which is another opportunity for us to say thank you, Elon Musk, for providing the opportunity for Americans to think for themselves and for people to have their voices be heard. Because, in Joe Biden's administration, these types of things would not have been permitted. They would have been either deplatformed completely, or they would have been shadow banned so people wouldn't have the exposure. Here's what Homeland Security says on X in response to this Washington Post story. How do you people sleep at night after lying all day to the American people like this? ICE law enforcement did not target a daycare and were only at this location because the female illegal alien fled inside. Here is the real story. Officers attempted to conduct a targeted traffic stop of this female illegal alien from Colombia. Officers attempted to pull over this vehicle, which was registered to a female illegal alien, with sirens and emergency lights, but the male driver refused to pull the vehicle over. Law enforcement pursued the vehicle before the assailant sped into a shopping plaza where he and the female passenger fled the vehicle. They ran into a daycare and attempted to barricade themselves inside the daycare, recklessly endangering the children inside. The illegal alien female was arrested inside a vestibule, not in the school. Upon arrest, she lied about her identity. The vehicle is registered in her name, though she claims that she didn't know the man who was driving her car and just picked him up from a bus stop. Facts including criminality and information on the male assailant are forthcoming, and we will update the public with more information as soon as it becomes available. Are we crying over this woman? Are we as a society going, oh, that's just a shame? They were being pulled over in a traffic stop and they refused to comply. They drove into a shopping center that had a daycare in it and they used the daycare as cover. Boo-hoo? Are you kidding me? This is why with every single one of these stories that is coming out, the left is doing a great disservice to the actual people they're trying to protect by not telling the truth. Maybe, I don't know the facts, folks, but maybe this female illegal alien has been working her tail off. Maybe she's the sob story that everybody is always putting out there with every single one of these stories. Maybe she's trying to make ends meet. Maybe she's working 3 jobs for half the wage because Democrats like to keep the cheap labor in the country so that they can do the things that they say other Americans won't do, and they pay them less for it off the books. Maybe she's working her tail off to provide a life for herself and her family north of a border that she thinks there's some sort of American dream here. But you didn't tell that story. You changed the details. You turned it into deception. And you turned it into deception not to help that woman. You turned it into deception so that you could help some sort of political agenda that you have. So the Washington Post, if you're going to be this dishonest with your reporting here, how can we trust anything you have to say? And then most of you are saying, Annie, it's the Washington Post. Well, here's a good example of why people say, well, Annie, it's the Washington Post. They take stories and they contort them in a way where they don't trust you with the information to come to the same conclusion that they need you to come to so that they can continue to exact a political agenda that they subscribe to, that they've probably benefited from being a leftist agenda-driven media outlet. This is how this has operated for quite some time. This is how we watched President Biden say for 4 years, the border is secure. What are you talking about? The border is secure. And then Kamala Harris, 106, 107 days, whatever it might be. In her campaign, she's actually like, I think maybe we should, I don't know, maybe like build more wall. What? What is the matter with you people? It's because we're playing with feelings, not facts, and we need to get back to the facts. If you hear the true story, and I don't know what the true story is for this female illegal alien, if you heard her true story, there are some of you who would still sympathize with her and want to provide her an opportunity to stay in this country. Well, that would be an honest debate. That would be an honest discussion between people who believe that a policy should be looked at from one angle and the other, and then you make your arguments and you come to the conclusion that you come to. But please do not come debate me with sob stories that don't have facts behind them. I can't sob for something that isn't true. Start with the facts. Ethan, Sports and Local, next on the Annie Frey Show. Don't go away.
Well, motivation, C comes round and C goes down on me. And I make you smile like a drug for you. Do ever what you want to do, coming over you. Keep on smiling what we go through. One stop to the rhythm that defines you. And I speak to you like the chorus to the verse. Drop another line like a coda with the curse. Coming like a freak show takes the stage. We give them the games to play.
Michael's Flooring Outlet online at igotfloored.com. Let me tell you where Michael's Flooring Outlet is located. Right now, you can go shop in St. Charles County on Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters, at Mid Rivers and Highway 70. You can also shop at Michael's Flooring Outlet in West County on Olive Boulevard, 1 mile off 270 West on Olive. They have a location in Darien Prairie. All the details of their locations is available on their website at igotfloored.com. Shop the Smart Strand Mohawk Silk line of carpeting. Silky softness, superior performance with 3 times more individual fibers than ordinary nylon carpet. Also, their Revwood Select and Revwood Plus line of flooring comes with a 10-year waterproof warranty. This is going to make you confident in purchasing these quality products and go at a locally owned store like Michael's Flooring Outlet. The details you need to know, the products that they have, the locations that they have. You can even request an estimate. It's all available on their website right now. So shop Michael's Flooring Outlet for your flooring purchase. Go to igotfloored.com.
If you or someone you know has a home to sell, call Gloria Lou. That's right, Gloria Lou, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria is here with me now. And when it comes to St. Louis area market conditions, what advice do you have for your home sellers in today's market?
Well, most importantly, I understand every seller's situation is different. Some sellers need to sell, and some sellers want to sell. And a lot of my sellers are looking to buy, and they also have a home to sell. My advice in this uncertain market is to get an upfront written guarantee. That way, you know exactly how much you stand to make with your home sale. My guarantee sale offer is simple. I'll sell your home at 100% of market value, or I'll pay you the difference.
Take it from me, Mark Cox, an actual client. Sell with certainty and an upfront guarantee with Gloria Lou. Call 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Now that we're getting older, we've been putting more thought into maintaining our health.
We knew the water we drink every day could be filled with contaminants, so
we called Leaf Home Water Solutions.
They came to our home and did a free water test and gave us the analysis right away.
We were shocked at what we saw.
They found heavy metals like iron and copper.
Our own tap water was putting our health at risk, but Leaf Home Water Solutions made it easy to get safer water from every tap and hose. A whole home solution.
They have more than 250 product combinations and designed a system that fits our needs and budget. The installation took less than a day.
With Leaf Home Water Solutions, our water is safer and healthier. When we drink, when we cook, when we shower, even when we garden.
We feel better about our health.
Thanks to Leaf Home Water Solutions.
Schedule your free home water test today at leafhome.com/free and save 15% on all home water treatment systems. That's leafhome.com/free for your free home water test and 15% off. leafhome.com/free.
Swapping out your tires? There's nothing like it. With eBay, you can find the feel you're looking for, from smooth highway rides to grip for rough terrain. Get all the tires you need at prices you'll love. eBay, things people love.
Now, back to the Annie Fry Show. Real talk for real people. 97.1 FM Talk.
Hold up. Check it out. Sports and local.
With Mardi Gras 2025's #1 bead collector,
Weird.
Ethan.
I got so many beads this year, guys.
Yeah, you worked for it.
I worked really hard for it.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is. I wouldn't throw any beads your way no matter what you did.
Why is that, Ryan?
You're a guy.
All right. The Blues, remember a couple of days ago when we talked about, that horrible losing streak the Blues were on, and then
They snapped it.
They ended it. Yeah, they ended it, and they actually looked really good against one of the best teams in the league, the Edmonton Oilers, and we're like, okay, time to move in the right direction. Well, we're back at square one because last night they played the Washington Capitals, and they lost 6-1. And despite all that, the most notable part about the game was not the final score. It was an extremely historic night in the NHL. Alex Ovechkin, who last year broke Wayne Gretzky's NHL all-time leading goals record, scored his 900th career NHL goal, the first player in NHL history to do so. So he did that against the Blues. The funniest part about all of this, and this is definitely brought some controversy onto Jordan Binnington, who has already been, to a certain extent, a controversial figure in the NHL. Some people think that he has bad sportsmanship, stuff like that.
You really want your goalie to be like a really good sport.
Well said, Annie. Well said.
You want him to be like the nicest he can possibly be.
After Ovi scored his 900th career goal.
Ovi?
That's what they call Ovechkin.
All
That's
right.
his nickname. Widely known as that, Ryan. Thought you were a hockey guy. After that, Jordan Binnington
Slap shots fired.
Yeah. I just took it. I don't have anything to add.
Dang it, he's right.
And you know what? To the extent that I thought the same thing and I didn't say it.
Thank you for your honesty.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I should at least get one free shot for every sports and local.
Yeah, you got it. You're this is fair
based
game.
in large part on the intros and the opens that I get. So after that goal is scored, Bennington picks up the puck and he skates off to the side while everyone's celebrating and they're honoring Ovechkin, and he starts to stuff the puck inside of his pants.
Yeah.
Like you do.
Yeah, super normal thing. And at first nobody noticed it, and then one of the Lions referees skates up to him and is like, "Hey, like
Give
we
us the
need that
puck."
puck. It's one of the most historic pucks in NHL history."
Can
and
I
he's
ask a
kind of
question?
talking to him for a second.
I'm not a hockey guy like Ryan. How big is 900 goals? How many people have hit, like, I know how many people have hit 700 home runs. How many people score 900 goals?
One. He's the first one in NHL history to do it.
And it was on Bennington.
And it was on Bennington.
And he's like, "Fine, I'll put it in my pants."
And he stuffed it in his pants.
Oh, that's going to be a hot puck.
He stuffed it in his pants.
Yeah, he's a trivia question now.
And after a little bit of coercing, he did give the puck to the referee
from his pants.
From his pants.
Well,
he
what are his options?
Reached his hand into his pants.
Like he
pulled it out.
He didn't
Now, I will
realize
say,
they were coming for him.
This
and
is
pull it out
important
already.
for those that don't know. Where in the pants was the puck put? That is a very, side, back, front. That's an important question. It was in the side, all right? So for those that hadn't seen the video of this yet,
I don't know that it's that important of a question.
I would argue if it was in the front, then this would be getting way more controversy than it already is.
He's like, tell him to come get it.
In the back as well. I would argue that context matters in that situation.
So let me ask you a dumb question, because I'm not as much of a hockey guy as Ryan. Why did he steal the puck?
So he was just asked about this at the morning skate a couple of hours ago, and he basically said, "I was going to give it back." It very much so pointed towards
Maybe he wanted to sign
it's
it.
the game inside of the game, and people are super upset at Bennington for this, saying it's very unsportsmanlike. This is one of those things.
Was he being a jerk?
This is one of those things that if it's the guy on your team doing it, you absolutely love it, and you're like, "That's fun." Like, come on, was Jordan Bennington?
Ender said he was just pucking around.
Yes,
This is like the
well
move.
said, Ender. Little cringy, but yes. And but if it's on the other side, then you're like, dude, come on, man, that's so annoying. And he kind of has that reputation, but the league also kind of builds up that reputation that he has as well. So he really isn't that bad of a sport. But
Did
that was definitely.
Did the puck become more valuable because of this?
It's got a story.
It's got a story now.
Well, I mean, it already had quite the story.
But the story is about the event. It's not specifically about the puck.
This
now
part
it's got
in 20
lore.
years is not going to be remembered. They're going to remember it being the 900th goal scored.
No.
But Blues fans are always going to look back and say, yeah, the best goalie in our franchise's history stuffed it in his pants and tried to steal
that's
it.
the one right
I
there.
don't understand, because I this did even cross my feed, and I thought it, how many baseballs get saved in a I was gonna say in a season, but like you see baseballs, you see them doing the thing from the dugout, like, oh, we need that baseball all the time, and everybody kind of understands that you do that, except for freaking big strong guy who threw that ball in.
I was about to bring that up.
Who was that?
Alonso?
Pete Alonso. Mason Wynn's first career hit.
Mason Wynn's. Yes,
I was there.
I was there too.
You texted about it. I remember this.
Yes, I was there too. And like, Pete Alonso was already a villain in St. Louis because he was a big, strong guy, and he went after our Stubby Clapp, and you just don't do that. And Stubby Clapp made the point. I remember Pete Alonso was like, I'm like, who is this guy? Where did he come from? And then he's like, I could put him in the hospital if I wanted to. Like, who says that? Somebody who also says I could put him in the hospital because, I'm a big, strong guy. Mason Wynn gets his first hit. I'm glad that you mentioned that. And I was actually at the game. I was in the Champions Club for that. And
weird flex.
Everybody, I got a story about that too. I don't know. The story's going on and on. But I remember him throwing it into the crowd, and everybody went nuts. Everybody went crazy. And he said later that he didn't know. He didn't realize. And I don't know that he didn't realize.
Pete Alonso.
But he's
should've
also
put that
kind of
ball in his pants.
He should have.
Yeah. And then there's a story, and everybody's like, wow, Mason wins first hit, and it was in his pants.
You watch people. So didn't the guy who hit was it Will Smith? Did he hit the home run for the Dodgers or whatever?
Jada Pinkett.
Did the person throw the ball back on the field? I remember reading on Twitter that someone threw the ball back on the field, and then other people.
So this is actually a really interesting story. We actually had this
Let's say
guy.
actually.
We had this guy on the Mark Reardon show, and he talked about this just a couple of days ago. Go find it on the Odyssey podcast.
What guy?
The guy that caught that ball.
Did he throw it back?
He
had a separate ball.
He had a separate ball. That
Obviously, that's what I think. My husband, he goes, "That's not the ball. He threw a different ball back."
No, so they actually
had a ball in his pants.
And his son had caught the baseball like 2 innings earlier that tied the game. So they caught both of these baseballs.
Oh, gosh.
They didn't throw that one back, did they?
No.
They only had one ball in their pants?
How many balls did they have in their pants?
2 balls in the pants, technically 4 because there's 2 guys, and then they each caught a ball in their own. 6 balls.
Whoa,
wait,
we're talking about a sport
X's and
here.
Y's is Tuesday.
6 balls.
6 balls in those 2 men's pants?
What kind of balls they were, I'll leave that up to you. Context matters.
Were they all stitched?
I can't answer that question. I cannot confirm nor deny if they were stitched in their pants, Ryan. If the balls were stitched in their pants. Are we done with this story?
I think we're just getting started.
Let me ask some more questions about Bennington's pants.
No.
Is he being punished? Is he being fined or anything?
Not yet. Nothing's come about.
Are people
as of
like
yet.
real worked up about it?
Yeah, but people are always worked up about Bennington. When Bennington first came into the league, he was a little bit of a firecracker. He was very hot-headed, and, he kind of built that villain reputation. And as he has gotten older, as he's been in the league longer, he's really cooled down, and he really that really isn't his reputation
As
anymore.
we all do.
And it's funny, now all of that stuff is coming back. All these people are saying, oh, he's the villain, he's the bad guy, like that's just who he is. He's really not. So I don't know. I think it's good and fun gamesmanship, but I understand if you're a Caps fan and you see that happen, you're like, hey, that guy, like, and you're like, you're saying anything you can come up with. So.
Before we leave the World Series too much, I wanted to play a little clip here from the New Heights podcast, which is the Kelsey brothers. Here's Jason Kelsey talking to his brother.
We're going to stamp baseball for what?
Listen, just because the Phillies didn't make it doesn't mean the World Series wasn't absolutely epic. That was an awesome 7 games of baseball, man. It was back and forth.
Have you heard this, Ethan?
Both teams had their shining moments. Blue Jays are up all game going into the 8th inning.
So you're telling me I'm supposed to get excited about a Canadian baseball team and a team that just spends more money than everybody else? Who the cares about either?
Both of them spend more money than everybody. It's baseball.
Yeah, that's why baseball sucks. That's why baseball sucks. You just buy World Series championships. It's the dumbest thing in the world.
I was enjoying the out of it. It's exciting.
It's exciting. It's exciting that the team that spent the most money and everybody knew was going to win the World Series won the World Series.
It was the unexpected person that won it for him.
It was unexpected. Everybody knew this was going to happen before the season. We just had a bunch of meaningless happen before it, and then it happened. So, yeah, no, baseball not getting my stamp.
Ethan.
Makes me so mad. And the sad part is I love Jason Kelsey, but this
He's
take
the best
made
Kelsey.
This take made me so freaking mad.
Is he wrong?
Yes, he's wrong.
Which part?
The part where baseball is predictable, and because you spent the most money, you're guaranteed a World Series. Like 15% of the last 30 in the last 30 years, like the highest spending team has won the World Series. It really doesn't happen that often. It's happened in back-to-back years, yes, but that doesn't mean that it's predictable. So baseball, if you look at it year by year, champion crowned has the most parity of the 4 major sports.
Shots fired at Jason Kelsey now.
Wow.
Ethan is taking him down one at a time.
Taking those stats right out of his pants, throwing them on the air. I didn't know you had that at the ready. Good job.
Ethan's always ready. All right, next story.
Do
you have another story?
I do. I always have another story. And this one involving a recent guest of the show. And if you guys talked about this at all.
This is a national story about DeRoy Murdoch?
To shut up. No, it's about Eric Schmitt.
Go on. We talked to Eric Schmitt today.
Yes, and if you talked about this, I just need you to say next, okay? He announced just yesterday that FEMA is going to be transferring $59 million to St. Louis. The funds being allocated toward the recovery efforts from the tornado that occurred on May 16th. He was quoted saying, "This is part of the estimated $180 million in upfront debris removal funding that will head to the state of Missouri, alongside the deployment of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineer mission assignments and experts to advise the state with their unmatched technical expertise." They arrived in Jefferson City yesterday. So this announcement came after Trump granted $2.5 million for individual assistance in October, following the widespread devastating weather events that we saw earlier in the year.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I hope that they're able to get that all taken care of before winter gets terrible.
I hope so too.
All right. Well, that was a lively Sports and Local. Thank you.
That's one way to describe it.
All right. How many balls were in those pants?
6.
At
At least. Maybe more.
We don't know. Maybe less.
Hey, this dude's got a lot of balls in their pants.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, that's just life, baby. I was barely standing, but now I'm dancing. He's all over me.
HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com, 314-227-9636. Reach out to Matt Hayes, and he will come and inspect your basement foundational situation so you get real answers from somebody who can offer you solutions as well. When you call 314-227-9636, you're connected to Home Shield Foundation Repair. If you go online to their website, HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com, you can learn about how they can help you with basic foundation repair, basement waterproofing as well. And I, of course, talked to you a lot about concrete lifting, how they use a polyjacking system to even out and level out and make to get rid of that liability of that trip hazard of concrete that you have right now. Maybe it's your patio, if you've closed up the pool or the back deck, whatever it might be. Get it taken care of with experts who are going to value the opportunity to work with you, and a lot of their services come with warranties or guarantees. You're going to be able to trust them. Just learn more about each of those online at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Hey, y'all, this is Maggie Freeling, host of the new podcast, Up Advantage Weekly. Tune in each week as Payne Lindsay and I are joined by other true crime experts to take a fresh look at some of the most puzzling crimes and shine a spotlight on the cases that have stumped investigators for far too long. So go right now and search Up Advantage Weekly in your podcast app to follow the show. Listen for free wherever you get your podcasts.
With this season's drought and high temperatures, demand for new sprinkler system installs is at its peak. Even with a little rain in the forecast, now is the absolute best time to put a new system in place, setting you up for a healthier, greener lawn next year. Don't let your lawn go through another season looking the way it does today. Take control now, and you'll never have to worry about the damage heat and dry weather can cause again. Call 636-695-7800 or visit ProOutdoor.com to schedule your new system installation today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Today, we've been asking you the question, which we have asked you before. Do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? Because we want to see if there's movement on this issue, because Trump is pushing it pretty hard. YouTube live chat poll, let us know what you think. Here's one comment I'm pulling up. Eyes Wide Open says, if when the Dems are placed back into power, one is a fool to think they will not revoke the power of the filibuster across the board to retain power. I mean, they did already almost do it a couple years ago, so that's Trump's argument. What do you think? Should they do this? Should they not? How should they do this? That's the poll. Let us know before 3 o'clock. We're going to get the results here shortly. It is 2:37. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
From the gateway to the airwaves. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Baby, this is what you came for. Lightning strikes every time she moves. And everybody's watching her, but she's looking at you.
Today is definitely surrounding the airline adjustment that is being made, and I know a lot of people. I'm one of them. I'll be flying a little bit later here in November. You're looking at this going, can I have some more details? What exactly does this mean? Because they are talking about how they are going to reduce traffic, basically reducing airline traffic while the government is shut down. Why? Well, because they don't have enough air traffic controllers to ensure that the skies and the runways and the landing strips are going to be safe. Now, I'm in favor of that. We need to make sure that we have good traffic control there. But let's listen to Sean Duffy, who is the new Pete Buttigieg transportation secretary.
We always assess risk in the airspace, right? We're, as you've seen, and I think you and I have talked about, controllers are making decisions about their families and their income, and some of them are not coming to work. It's a problem. I want them to come to work and do their jobs, but that's the reality that I deal with. And so you've seen a lot of delays and cancellations through the airspace. It changes every single day based on what controllers are coming to work and which ones are not and what airspaces. But we were seeing increased pressure in these 40 markets, and we looked at the data. This was data-driven, and so taking 10% of the flights out will reduce that pressure, which is what we want to do. Now, does that mean there's going to be no delays? No, Brian. There's potentially still going to be delays if we have staffing triggers, and we don't have enough controllers in an airspace where we did cut 10%. You might see additional delays. However, you've covered Newark, right? We had massive delays at Newark early in the summer, and we reduced the capacity at Newark, and then all the flights flew on time, right? There was no more delays. I can't guarantee that's the case here, but I'm hopeful that we're going to have more on-time flights, less cancellations.
Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary, making the case there that this is important. I asked Senator Eric Schmitt about this particular decision that was made by the transportation secretary. I asked him if this is a safety maneuver. Is this something that needs to be done so that the job can be executed in a safe and secure way? Or is this a political move to put pressure on the people who are keeping the government shut down? And he very quickly said, oh, no, he thinks this is 100% about safety and security. But it definitely is something, if you are flying in the next couple weeks, I think that they said that they were going to start canceling flights through this weekend. So the heads up would be there a little bit. Was it Frontier? Southwest, I got an email from Southwest that said that if our flight is canceled, that we would get a refund, which is not always the case when you book a flight. It kind of depends on the fare that you book and all that. Frontier said you should probably buy a backup ticket on another airline.
Whoa, that's
hot take.
Yeah, gee whiz. I don't think they're exactly advertising that you should fly with them.
Well, I mean, the case that a Frontier makes is we're cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely cheap.
Yeah. You fly Frontier?
I have. Yeah, I've flown Frontier a few times, especially to Denver, because I think that's their hub.
What's it cost you?
Man, that's the cheapest flight I ever got. It was last year for the guys' trip that I go on every September. I got a flight from here to Denver for a total of $19.
That's crazy.
And that was just the fees. So Frontier didn't make anything. They were just asking me to up my baggage fee and stuff, and I'm like, nope, getting the 19.
How'd you get a free flight?
Well, Frontier charged basically a penny because they were just trying to fill the flight up, hoping you would buy the extras so they'd make some money, like with, buy a bag
How'd you get connected to that?
It was just one of the options. I didn't have any special.
Did you did your buddies fly the same flight, or did you go out separately?
No, there's only 2 of us that live here, so there was only 2 of us that could have gotten that flight, and he didn't go on the same flight as me. So I was the only one that got it.
Is that because he didn't want to fly Frontier?
No, he was flying out a different day.
So just a totally different setup. That's crazy. 19
Isn't that crazy?
I really kind of wonder if, before all of this stuff can set in, if this government, the reopening of the government will establish itself. But I'd like to know how quickly, once it's, okay, you voted and it's open, now all of a sudden people don't have money in their checking account for the jobs that they've been working and doing. How long does it take to get reacclimated? How long does it take to get people back to work? I would presume that the people in Congress, they're all going to know that there's something imminent, that there's a vote that's going to happen. And so I would think that Speaker Johnson would say, "Hey, get on the next flight back. Make sure it's one that Sean Duffy's going to cancel, and get back to Washington D.C. so that they can get to the business of all these bills." But you asked that question earlier, like, is this affecting you? Flights is going to affect a lot of people, and it's going to make a lot of people nervous. There are a lot of people who are not going to actually be affected by this, who are going to feel the anxiety about this.
It's literally the reason that I want the government to get back open. I know that
there are other reasons too.
I should be much more compassionate to the couple people that I know that are either not working at all and therefore not getting a paycheck, or still working and not getting a paycheck. But it's the real motivator for me because it affects me personally.
Well, we're going to continue to monitor it. They've got a tracker up now on the news stations of how many flights have been canceled. So we'll be monitoring it, certainly for our own personal circumstances, but yours as well. All right, we're going to get to the YouTube live chat poll results when we come back. Do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? Yes, for the shutdown only, though. Get the Republicans in there and the filibuster, open the government, and get back to business. Yes, for everything, or no, you don't support that at all. Go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and vote in the live chat poll right now. You can also text us. We'll take some text responses if you so choose. You can save this number in your phone and really text us anytime. 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Just a fair warning, those texts go to Ryan. He's the one who's going to read them. So send those texts on the poll, and we'll be right back. Don't go away. CiviaLaw.com. Have you visited CiviaLaw.com yet to learn about how Todd Civia and his team can help you through those important life transitions and really plan for them ahead of time? When you are prepared with an estate plan, if you have elder law issue concerns that you might like, elder care, long-term care, all of these things, these are conversations that Todd Civia can help you navigate because he does this all the time. He does this every day. He helped my husband and I do this, and he's looking forward to talking to you. And the first 10 listeners right now to call Todd Civia, the first 10 listeners are going to get a free strategy session, which is a $300 value. So I'll give you the number to call here in just a second to be one of those first 10 listeners. You do have to tell them that you heard about it on the Annie Fry Show. You can visit them in person in Illinois at their Edwardsville location, East Alton, Swansea, Centralia, Mount Vernon. In Missouri, you can visit them in Wentzville and Creve Coeur, but call them right now and schedule the appointment that works for you. And mention my name, and the first 10 callers will get their strategy session fee waived. 833-995-WILL. That's 833-995-WILL. CiviaLaw.com.
Hey, it's Mark Cox. Let's support our first responders. Inter Responder Rescue's ATF raffle. Prizes include top shelf bourbon, a lit cigar lounge VIP night, and a CZ P10 pistol from the range. Text responder to 33100 to enter today.
Hanson's Tree Service honors local veterans through Operation SOS, Serving Our Soldiers. It's a once-a-year program that provides free professional tree care to a few deserving veterans or military families. If you know a veteran or military family who could use a helping hand, nominate your hero today at hansontree.com.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage Missouri can count on.
Great news. Corel Roofing is going to part inspection right now. That's 314-222-9529 or CorelRoofingCo.com.
Tony LaRussa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We had people over at our house, my family, for brunch and turned it into an impromptu birthday brinner for my dad, whose birthday was last week, I think. Whatever, in late October.
So was mine.
It was not.
No, my dad's birthday.
Oh.
Was last week.
I thought you were talking about your birthday. And I'm like, no, it wasn't.
No. And no, I'm also not referring to your dad as my dad,
No.
which sometimes I jokingly do.
I missed that opportunity. We did not include you in the family birthday.
I was offended.
Yeah. It kind of developed at the last minute. That's where we ended up watching the 60 Minutes with Trump on there. But then after that, we were flipping through. Like, remember when you, on Sunday night, you'd like flip through the TV channels and you just like watch whatever was on because it was Sunday night?
That was what you did all the time.
That's just what, yeah, that's true. But I just felt like there was more free time on a Sunday for me, likely. But we were like scrolling through the channels and I remember thinking like, what is the point of this? Like anything that I want to watch, I could probably go find right now.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, let's watch a movie that's in progress with commercials.
You know who I feel bad for is bars during the day or bar-themed restaurants because they want to turn on sports, but it is just radio talk shows on TV on ESPN all day.
Like, well, highlights and stuff like that, I guess.
Sometimes.
Conversations. But the reason I bring this up is because that song that was just playing, the movie that we watched in progress with commercials, Remember the Titans.
I don't know that I've ever seen that movie.
That is a sin.
I know.
Oh, my gosh.
Everybody I know loves that movie.
I'm trying to think of a better football movie.
The Replacements?
Mm-mm. Actually, The Replacements came on after it.
Did it?
Yeah, because it was Keanu Reeves, and then there was these cheerleader tryouts. And
that's more than I know about that movie.
My kids were in there, and they were doing like one-shot cheerleader tryouts, and they were basically coming up with every different stereotypical type of a girl. And I was like, okay, we're going to change that.
Any Given Sunday? The Waterboy?
No, those are not better than Remember the Titans.
Okay. I wouldn't know.
Remember the Titans is better than Rudy. Everybody just sit down and calm down.
Ooh, Rudy.
Okay, we're a Notre Dame house.
I like Rudy.
I like Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Where's Jared right now? I think he's teaching.
Come on, tell us.
I just don't like. Now, if I'm watching a baseball movie, there are two top-tier baseball movies for me. You want to guess them? Can you guess
Bull
them?
Durham.
No. That would be a close third.
Hot Shots Part 2.
No.
Moneyball.
No. Come on, Ethan. Classic baseball movies.
Field of Dreams.
No. No, I don't even like that movie either.
That's
Sorry.
like all the top baseball
No,
movies.
it is not. You haven't even named the two best ones.
League of Their Own.
Duh.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Yes.
That's
What's
not
the other
a
one?
baseball movie. That's a feminist movie.
I quit my show, man. I'm freaking done.
Oh, man. Brad, you should have given us at least a couple more minutes because now we got to fill for Annie. She's gone.
She said League of Their Own is top 2 baseball movie.
It's a good movie.
It's a good movie. Doesn't mean it's a top 2 baseball.
Is it a top
movie.
2 baseball? Other than Moneyball, what were you suggesting
Wait,
was a top
I'm back. I'm back.
Okay,
Because
here-
I'm going
here
to
she
give you a
goes.
hot take. If you see A League of Their Own as a feminist movie, then you are intimidated by strong women. If that is something that makes you go, that movie is about feminism, the men were at war and the women, this is like a real story. It's not a story about feminism. The women weren't there taking the men's place. The men were fighting at war, and the women had to be prim and proper and wear skirts.
Here's my question.
What?
Did they cry?
One of them did.
Kit definitely did.
Here's my
Kit.
thing. That movie was written.
Not in the baseball game.
That movie was written by Gloria Steinem.
Shut the hell up.
She cried.
Evelyn was the one who was crying because Stillwell Angel wanted some, or I don't know.
No crying in baseball.
Yeah.
Kit cried after she gave up the hit in the World Series.
Good movie.
Right before she went up
Yeah,
to
she
bat.
did. But she's not the no crying in baseball one.
No,
and you're
that's
right.
what I was making
Brad's
a joke
right.
off of that.
Brad's
I actually
absolutely right.
like- I
This
actually
movie
like
is
that
only
movie.
about women wanting to replace men. That is exactly why Tom Hanks signed on to the freaking thing.
You lit
That's
a fuse, Brad.
That's the
Holy
stupidest
moly.
take I've ever heard about
But
A
it's
League of Their
got
Own.
Brad's favorite actress in it, Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, I know. Hot stuff.
More of a Madonna guy myself.
You know, you need to be, it had to be you. Marla Hooch.
Oh my gosh, what a hitter.
And then you have not figured out the best baseball movie of all. You haven't even mentioned it yet. It's an older one, but a goodie.
Hoosiers.
No.
Let's see. Sandlot.
No. Good one, though. Top 5.
Was Field of Dreams mentioned?
Yeah, I don't like that
Major
movie.
League?
I said no.
No.
I said
What
Hot
am I
Shots.
forgetting?
Major League 2.
Major League 2 is arguably better than the first one. What am I missing, Annie?
That's a good one.
Yeah, I can't think of it either.
The Natural?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody text it to me so that I
It's
can
The
pretend
The
I
Natural.
got
You
it.
just said it.
Oh.
Just
Yeah.
said it.
Roy
The
Hobbs.
Natural.
Okay.
I haven't seen The Natural.
That's outrageous, too. It's a movie about women who hate men.
Well, then Brad
also
hates
a
it.
feminist movie.
It's the precursor to A League of Their Own.
It sets the whole table.
It's really all about
Takes place
a
during
woman.
World War. What?
It's about women who want to get pregnant, and so they use men the way they're supposed to get pregnant.
The natural way.
Yes, the natural way. And I'm trying to think of another feminist hot take
why
in
I got
there.
the title.
A woman is trying to take over a business by being available, take over a baseball team
Starring Meg Ryan.
with a no, there's no Meg Ryan.
Ah.
With a scary guy who smokes cigars and pipes in the dark. That's what The Natural is.
Sounds like a banger.
Great.
Best baseball movie ever.
Any aliens or anything?
Yes.
Not illegal ones. Space.
Oh.
Space.
Oh,
Hard take, no.
Ryan.
YouTube live chat poll. Do you support the GOP Senate majority removing the filibuster? You got me all tangled up now talking about League of Their Own. Yes for the shutdown only, yes for everything, or no. I'm still a no on this, but that's because I don't want them to remove the filibuster. I want them to edit the filibuster. I want them to go back to pre-1975 where they got to stand their butts out on the Senate floor and keep talking until they've made their case. So keep the filibuster in. How dedicated are you? How far can you take this thing? I looked it up because we got a message from a listener who was trying to ask, like, you know, what kind of filibuster is it if you don't actually have to do anything in order to buster the filla?
Yeah. Deconstructed that word well there.
I know. It's a technical term. Civics. Take your civics class. The filibuster used to be before 1975. It was referred to as a talking filibuster, and you had to stand up there and hold the Senate floor until you were done. And they don't have to do that anymore. What if they did? Everybody get back to work. That's what I would say. But if you eliminate the filibuster, I think that's a happy medium. I'm still a no on this, and we're going to compare notes from one day, Monday's results to today's. What do you got?
I love your suggestion. I do think they should get rid of it for the shutdown, but I also think that that's really for budget issues because the only way we have a national emergency where we have to balance this budget at some point, Democrats will never do it. Republicans might never either, but they have to. That's the only way it'll happen.
Brad?
I'm still just do it for the shutdown and get it over with.
All right. What do we got for the results today?
So you want today's first?
Yes.
Okay. All right. 224 votes. 38% say yes for the shutdown only. 21% say yes for everything, and 41% say no.
That's up 4% from Monday on everything and down 7% on no. Real quick before we go, Hernan comments on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Annie, A League of Your Own is an excellent movie, and as sad as it reminds us of loved ones who have passed and that we will all pass on as well. Yay, feminism. Hooray. Mark Reardon's next.
Let me tell you one of the reasons I think we became the largest injury firm in the world, and it's not even close. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. My wife and I had a plan early on. In our firm, our lawyers only work on certain types of cases. Our products liability and dangerous drug lawyers only work on those cases. Same for car crashes, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, and insurance disputes. Our thinking is for these lawyers to focus on one area of the law and live it and breathe it. Power comes from knowledge. Many lawyers do everything, jack of all trades. Not us. And we don't charge an hourly rate. You only pay us if we win. If you want to hire us, it's easy. Dial Pound Law on your cell phone, pound 529, or visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer from the comfort of your own home. Let us get to work for you. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Lutheran Elementary School Association. You can abbreviate it by going to LISA. Add the STL.org, and you're at their website, and you can learn exactly how you can tap into some tuition assistance that is available for your child or for your grandchild to attend one of the 34 Lutheran schools here in the bi-state region. If you are looking for a quality education in a private, Christ-centered educational environment, you should consider a Lutheran education. They've also got 4 high schools in the area, with one more coming to Franklin County, Missouri, in fall of 2026. God is moving in Lutheran Christian education, and I want to tell you, as somebody who's experienced it as a child myself, who went to Lutheran schools, but also who sends my children to Lutheran schools, you can find common understanding. You can turn your kids over to a school that understands the values that you have and have peace of mind that Christ-centered education is going to be provided. You can learn everything you need to know about the schools that are in the area, as well as tuition assistance that's available at lisastl.org.
Make the most of fall and have an outdoor space that you actually love that's built to last. Lakeside Renovation and Design builds custom decks, screened-in porches, covered patios, and they use these durable, low-maintenance materials like composite decking and aluminum railings. They're going to make sure you have the perfect setup so you can host your family and friends for backyard barbecues or just sit outside and enjoy the morning coffee even when it's raining. Don't wait until the spring to start planning the space that you want to enjoy next year. Start with a free consultation. Visit lakesiderd.com, lakesiderd.com.
Hey Max, you look sharp in that purple tie. Ready to harness the world as a guide dog?
You bet, Daisy. And your purple service dog vest really pops against your shiny fur.
First day on the job for both of us. We've got this, right?
You bet. Dogs Inc. trained us well.
Ready to make a difference